Welcome to Pixio Podcast, whatever number we're on now.
Yeah,
the spooky
number,
episode.
And then here's where you fill in like Microsoft 7.
Yeah. Titled The Exploding Bottle.
Microsoft Sam.
We can do a different title. I don't know.
I thought we picked one.
What was the
earlier.
what was the
What was the
title?
one that we were?
Something about the cat.
Oh yeah, shit, I don't remember. Like buff ass cat or something.
Look at this beefy cat.
Yeah, we have a really beefy ass cat in the store right now. We're gonna put a picture of him up right now.
Oh.
I'll send you the picture.
Okay.
But yeah, so we have the picture of the cat on the screen. He's cute. Oh, I thought you said her.
By the time anyone hears or sees, I guess hears
This cat will have died of old age.
He will have been adopted and died.
Of old age or just cat murder.
Smashed
like murdered
by
by
weights.
another cat or someone like. Okay.
It's clearly the cat steroids that are going to kill this.
Yeah, for
This
real.
is the part of the podcast where you get to hear all of us eat.
Chomping on Chinese food.
This is a shrimp roll. You're welcome.
This is a sweet and sour pork. You're welcome. Yeah, I should.
This is a chicken on stick.
I don't like that I got picked up on the mic at all. That upset me.
This is another sweet and sour pork.
No!
That's a weird bite.
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah.
A sound bite.
This isn't funny.
What were we yelling about earlier?
Remember how
you were
we're
telling
here?
us a GameStop story.
Oh shit, yeah. I was buying a Mario Odyssey today because it just came out today. And I was in the store. And first of all, lots of cool dudes shop at GameStop. Shout out to all the GameStop cool dudes. It's a street gang here in town. They're really cool dudes. Anyway, there was this dude was like in the GameStop, and for some reason,
Was he a cool dude or just a dude?
I think he was the leader of the cool dudes. He was a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, like a sweet ponytail or something like that.
I think so. He had a hoodie on with like a
Backwards
hat,
hat.
but it was like sitting on top of his head, so it made his head look really big, like he was a cone head. So he had this like really tall, flat brim hat that had like 1,000 stickers on it, and then he had like his hoodie on top of it, so it just looked like a really cool version of Cornholio. And he was looking at the figurines, because you know how GameStop just needs to have like $200 Deadpool figures.
Right.
'Cause they
For some
bought
reason.
Think Geek for some fucking reason.
Yeah, it's a good thing they did, because this dude dropped one. And it was just the loudest crunch ever. And he just, I don't know why, I guess he saw it in like an anime or something, because as soon as he dropped it, he seriously just like, nobody can see this, but use your mental images, whatever. He was like
Imagination.
holding his, well, sorry, let's see. He was kind of like doing this for a minute. Like, we wouldn't notice that it was the dude who was like obviously making a scene in front of the Deadpool smashed figure.
Froze.
Yeah, it was pretty
He
funny.
went full possum.
Trauma.
Yeah, he was just kind of like what? And it was so funny. But then at the same time, I was being followed around the store. You know how usually when you go to GameStop, they're really irritating. They're like, you want to pre-order games? I was being followed around by a customer who I think was like a 17-year-old kid who I don't think has any friends. And he noticed that I was wearing a Portal jacket, because I always wear this Portal jacket. God, sorry. And he's like, that's a pretty cool jacket. I'm like, ugh. Okay. And so I'm there with Bobby, just want to buy my game and get out so I can go home and play it. And he just wanted to talk about everything. He like looked over and he's like, do you have Don't Starve on PlayStation 4? I'm like, no. He's like, I have it on Steam. It's really fun. I'm like, cool. And I'm humoring him because I can't be mean to people, because I used to be annoying kids like this as well. But we're leaving and he's like following us to my car. I'm like, we're going, dude. And he's just kind of like, he really wanted to talk. And so I'm just like, hey man, it was really nice talking to you. And he was just kind of like, nah, like, don't leave me. I'm all alone in the world. And I felt really bad, but at the same time, I was internally like, don't talk to me. I have video games to play.
Yeah,
That's basically 99% of your clientele. Yeah. But
Maybe
I didn't
he
work
was just
there.
a ghost.
I think he is a ghost.
The ghost of GameStop.
But like when I wasn't talking to him for a moment, he like found another group of people to talk to, and I think they were like, go away.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, obviously, it's a small business. I'm here by myself, so like when I get the chance to eat, like I sit down and I start eating, the moment like food gets to my mouth, a customer will walk in, and half of the time it's one of those guys where I have to like I leave where I was eating and I go sit behind the counter and talk to them and take care of them and everything. And they know I was eating. They saw me eating when they came in, and they continue to just sit there and be like, "What do you think of this game?" I'm like, "Dude, come on, like, let me go back to eating my food." It's
Can I
been
chat
an
down for
hour."
just a moment, please? Like, well, what do you think about Kung Pao or Kung Fu, that game on the Nintendo?
And they do that to me. They're like, "What do you think about the Switch doing this?" I'm like, "I don't care. I don't care at all. Go away. I'm so hungry." Like, well, it's mostly just kids who have never been properly socialized, and I mean that's one of the things about the store. I've been hanging out here long enough that I have seen these kids transition to real people. So like I know they'll get there eventually. It's just right now it's like
The beta phase of their human form is really annoying.
I've seen you so many times over the years. You're gonna turn into a real person in like a year. You're gonna like get a girlfriend and like start bathing properly and doing all that stuff. But right now you're like the really lame middle evolution of you.
It's awful. And that's the part that I was telling Bobby too, is that it's like, I used to be like that. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, would you have dated me? And he's like, I couldn't even finish. He's like, oh God, no.
No.
Fine,
No.
Yeah, oh, no. Oh, go, God, no. But it's funny because I still, you remember Replay Games? Do you remember Replay Games? I don't think you were born yet when they closed. Because you're young. Dabbing on the yuccas. It was a game store. I think they closed in like 2003, 2004, I think. But whenever, I used to go there when I was younger. And I remember specifically not being irritating, but that's because no one remembers themselves as being an irritating butthole. I was that kid to the entire staff of the store. I don't know how they tolerated me at all, but somehow I became friends with all of them, and like we still talk and they're all cool, and it's just like, how did you like just not be like, get out of my life?
Yeah.
Because holy shit, I was the worst. I don't understand, why do kids just want to go to game stores and be irritating? Do they not understand that that's irritating? Michael, you're eating. Do you want to talk about Xbox?
All of their social interaction comes from like Xbox Live conversation.
It's Jesus.
I kept it so far away now. It's like all the way across the
You
store.
put it right in the path to happen again.
No.
But yeah, like I said, I've seen that kid 1,000 times, and I like that they come into the shop because I can slowly train them to be real human beings. But it's one of those things, like, every now and then, I'm just not feeling it. Like, I customer service face all the time, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
Like, most people that come into the shop don't know it, but I am a generally quiet / grumpy human being. But when people come in, I chit-chat, I joke, I pretend to know about the game they're talking about, you know, all that stuff, like you do. But every now and then they'll be sitting there going like, did you hear this thing about this thing? I was like, nope. Just go away, dude. I can't deal with you for 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
And like, I don't mind people swing by and chit chat, hang out, but every now and then you get that guy who is here for 6 hours and is buying nothing. And it's
Me
like,
when I was 12.
yeah, it's like, I get that you want to hang out with us, and that's fine, but we're also a business.
Yeah.
I
I
had to
need
tell
you to
one
give
of
me
them-
money in order for you to stay here and bother
There was
me.
a kid who would come here every day and hang out for a few hours. And I eventually had to sit him down and be like, I'm going to have to put a time limit on you coming to the shop. Because he started like sleeping on the couch in the store and stuff. It's like, dude, you can't. Like,
Live
no,
here.
like that's not acceptable. And it was just like, it turned into a whole thing. Like, he was a good kid. He like understood, but like it was just really awkward. He was like tearing up while I was talking to him. And I was like, I don't deal with emotions well.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows me knows that I just get very uncomfortable.
I was gonna say, are you one of those people that if you see someone crying, you start crying? She's just like, I'm really sorry, you
He
can't.
just doesn't know what to do.
Typically, when emotions happen, I just start fidgeting with something that's near me
Okay,
until they
fidget.
stop, and then I
And
go
he'll
back.
make an
spinner.
awkward joke laugh.
Yeah, I don't know how to handle them. Because my family is very much just a shut up and move on kind of family.
Maybe you should just tell them to shut up and move on.
I've been told that that's rude.
Shut up, please. And move
Please
on.
shut
Let me
up
just say please.
and please move on.
I say it to Bobby all the time. I don't know why he gets mad. I'm like, I'm being polite. Can you shut up, please?
Yeah, like
Shut your mouth,
I've
please.
told this story before, but I had my uncle who was close to me that passed. I was having trouble with it, and I called my older brother and asked him if we could like hang out because, you know, I was not doing okay with it. I was kind of bummed, and his response was, "Nah." That's the family I come from. So.
It's a very genuine reaction for, I'm having a hard time. Can you hang out?
Yeah,
That's okay. I'm fine. Thanks, though.
yeah,
Thanks, ass.
cool. Well, yeah. So emotions just make me uncomfortable.
Cool. Except anger.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
he's not.
You gotta just. Are you cutting those out or are you leaving all those in?
What?
The burps.
She's in chicken on a stick,
Yeah,
man. She's not. She's
chicken on
not
a
in this
stick mode.
conversation. She's barely in the store right now.
I haven't really edited anything out from our podcast.
Oh, okay. So, you're welcome, everybody.
What about that
Yep.
part where Pat was really racist?
Oh, that's all the time. I'm just kidding. I'm not racist. I hate everybody equally.
I just like cut it to the part where we start introducing ourselves, and then that's it.
Oh, we haven't introduced ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Shit, so this part's just going in the trash.
Yeah, we lost all of this.
I feel like at this point people kind of know who we are.
No.
We
Well,
can
this
do it in
should-
an outro.
Yeah.
I'll just like voice record like we didn't say this, but there's my.
Oh, yeah, at the very end we'll just...
Shanrequa.
Yeah, we can edit it in later.
Also, here's me breaking a bottle
Yeah.
by accident.
Well, that'll be the intro and outro of the thing.
Yeah.
Well, that could be... this is Shanrequa.
Yeah.
Fuck!
Fuck. And then mine can just be the clip of me going, Old man Michael.
Growling like Marge Simpson.
Yeah, essentially, that's what I do all day. I'm constantly just disappointed by the world.
The world's pretty easy to be disappointed in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I don't think I should get into it, like saying where I work or
Nah.
anything genuinely too specific like that, but I
The names have been
deal with a
changed to
lot
protect
of
the innocent.
yeah, pretty much. I deal with a lot of people on a daily basis, and I dealt with a couple months ago. I dealt with a person who was trans. They were male to female, and then I recently dealt with their husband who is female to male. They're both huge assholes, and I feel like if I said that, people would have thought that I was being transphobic. But they were both some of the worst human beings I've ever met in my life.
I've been in that same
At the
boat.
end of hanging out with them, because at the end of what I do for a living, I usually shake hands with people, say it's really nice to meet you, you know, have fun with the job that you went through, the thing that I did for you. And everybody, like 99% of people shake my hand, and it's fine. Both of these people kind of like retaliate in like this gross way and say, I don't shake hands. I'm like, well, you're about to catch hands because shake my fucking hand.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Social contract.
The worst part is that neither of them look like they had showered in a month. So it's not a germs thing. They're just assholes. And I feel like if I told people that, they would see it as transphobic. And it's like, it has nothing to do with who they are identifying wise. They're just an asshole.
It's really unprofessional.
They were very rude. Recently, the female to male, we had, like, they got kind of, like, they finished this one part before everybody else. And so you'd think, if you're in, like, a training scenario, what would you do? If you're waiting for 3 other people to catch up, what would you do if it was, like, 5 minutes? Probably sit there quietly, maybe ask a question. No.
Stare out the window.
Bust out your phone and listen to Star Trek Deep Space Nine on the loudest setting. I like turned around. I was like,
Wow.
for real, dude?
Yeah, you
Like,
fucking kidding
this
me
is
right
actually
now?
what you're doing right now? And just had an absolute, just completely oblivious to how big of a shithead they were. Just completely oblivious. It's like, you're the worst. You're the absolute worst. And once again, I would be seen as transphobic because they'd be like, well, just because I'm transgendered. No, it's because you're an
I
asshole.
hate that bullshit shield.
No, I hate it. These were basically Tumblerinas that you can tell that if they had their own perfect way, they would have been referred to as Giger and Jim Shelf or whatever. And it's like, no, sorry.
You're Steve.
Yeah,
Stacy.
yeah.
Let's just
Sorry.
fucking-
How far into your self-identity do I need to play along with? Because I'll be nice to you. I'm not going to sit there and just be like, y'all's girls.
This
I'm
is
not
a
going to say that shit.
conversation We've had multiple times.
But it's pretty awful, and I kind of hate that more than anything. And
Yeah,
it seems
I
like it's kind of amping up even more. It's like, chill. Like not everything has to be like this stupid shitty battle. Just maybe calm down a little bit. It's
Yeah.
fine.
And I get the straight white male thing thrown in my face all the time.
Cisgendered.
Yeah, so like, my best friend is a lesbian who is now transitioning to male, and it's whole long.
I thought I was your best friend.
Star, you barely like me. So, no, you're not mine, but I'm yours. Yeah, one of those. But yeah, I've known her forever. I still call her because I'm just stupid and don't bother to learn the new things because she lives in a different state and it's not worth my time. But knows my personality, knows me very well, but so many of her friends over the years have given me the fucking, privileged white male speech, or the, you're discriminating against me because I'm a woman or I'm gay or all this stuff. It's like, no, you're just a dick. Yeah. Like, I don't care that you're gay. I don't care that you're a woman. You're just an asshole, and don't touch me. Those are like, everyone knows my main rule is pretty much just, I don't care, just don't touch me.
Well, that's the thing. They're telling you this while they're trying to rub your pecs, right?
Yeah, they're always like sitting uncomfortably close to me and giving me a rant about how I'm an asshole, and I'm like, I don't know your name. I am an asshole, but not the way you think I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole because I don't care about whatever you're saying, not because I like hate gay people.
Yeah. Ew, you kiss dudes? I don't like you. It's like, no, I just don't care about what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't, like, I've heard this conversation from 19 other lesbians today, and I just don't have it in me right now. Because we would go to these under 21 gay support groups because she would help out there and everything, and I would just hear the same speech over and over again. And also at the same time, I'm getting called like a bigoted whatever while I'm helping at the under 21 gay support group, and it's like, pick your battles. Like, like, read the room, buddy.
Oh man, did you hear about what happened to GGG?
I don't know what that is. No, I did not.
Yeah. I don't know if I should say it. And so, yeah.
Just cut out the name of the business and we'll see what's what.
Yeah, we can cut, replace him with Mr. Cool Ice.
Yeah, everything is Mr. Cool Ice.
So, like, they posted an advertisement on Facebook that said, is your wife or girlfriend nagging you to do chores? Well, fuck that and come to... And then, like, a bunch of feminists got really mad, and they like started boycotting, not going to GGG.
So that was actually a big thing that everybody else had secretly been boycotting it for a while because nobody ever went there. Yeah. I think I heard about it after they closed. It's like, oh, because they're closed, right?
No, they're still open.
What was the one that was in the mall?
We know
video games.
Oh,
and Coronado.
Okay, maybe that's the one I was thinking of. That seems weird because, like, I don't know, like, there are certain, like, tongue-in-cheek things, like, I mean, I don't even understand the jokes. It's just like, haha, girls should be making sandwiches.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like,
I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah, but yeah, like, if I'm just like, hey, ladies, where's our sandwiches? You're like, fuck, that's stupid. I don't care. But to get, like, that upset about it, I don't know. It seems like it's stretching too far. Like, there's actual problems that women in the world face, and you're mad because someone's just making a dumb joke about sandwiches.
Again, it comes down to the pick your battles.
Yeah.
Like, you're picking a battle with a bunch of socially unaware assholes. There's nothing to be won in that fight. Like, yes, they might be in the wrong. Maybe they're making an insensitive comment. But the problem is, they're completely unaware that they're doing it.
Yeah.
So even if you yell at them, all they're going to think is, what's wrong with these crazy people?
Yeah. All you do is just in, like, a very calm way just be like, no, like, that's not funny. They just need to understand that, like, when you make this huge deal, it's the same with, like, people who troll on the internet. When you give them the satisfaction of knowing that it, like, really gets to you, they're going to keep doing it. They don't care.
Yeah.
They clearly don't have girls in their lives, so what is making more girls angry at them going to do? But there is some stuff lately, too, because, like, the whole Harvey Weinstein garbage that's been coming out, whatever. Everyone's like, well, I don't see what the problem is. It's like, no, that's gross. Yeah. That shit's nasty. Like, no, none of that stuff. But I feel like people, like, blow everything into that same proportion. I say as a white male. But it just, I don't know. It's like you said, pick your battles. Certain things absolutely deserve the attention, but if it's just like, I was on the bus and some dude kept looking at me.
That's the thing. That's a fight that, in my opinion, all you're going to get out of it is being able to say that I picked this fight.
How do you ladies want to chime in on this? Letting the guys talk about gross sexism.
Talking about
giving our feedback on the problem that doesn't exist for us. Is it yucky?
It is. It can be really scary. I mean, culturally, we're just taught to be afraid all the time. I don't know. I've been approached by, like, scary dudes at night outside, and it's Like, I need a knife.
And are they saying like creepy shit like you should try smiling?
Oh yeah, I've gotten that before. Waiting in a drive-through, someone came up to my open car window, and it was like, "Oh, why don't you smile?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know who you are."
Did you throw your phone number at him like a business card? You're like, "Call me."
I just opened my blouse. Please.
You're like, "Oh God, someone told me to smile once. I've never heard that before."
Yeah, and then when I didn't do anything, he got like really upset and
fuck you, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And was like, "You're a stranger. Fuck off. Like, I'll run you over with my car."
I am in a giant metal machine.
Yeah.
Go away.
That's the thing that I never really understood. That it's like, you know, like if I hold the door open for someone, I'm not expecting them to be like thanks and then like show me their boobs or whatever. It's like I'm doing it because I'm nice. But like if they don't say thank you, I'm not gonna be like, fine, stuck up bitch, and just like slam the door on them. I'm not doing these things.
Yeah.
But to think that like I could just, like some dudes would just walk up to a girl, well, you should try smiling sometime. Oh,
yeah.
Here's my number. Like what do they think is gonna happen from there? It's like, you know what? You're right, dude.
I don't know.
I should try smiling.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh.
Like,
again, not a situation
life-changing.
Yeah. Like, I've been in the Southwest all my life, and I've only ever been in Albuquerque most of my life. I've never been on, like, the East Coast or anything, so I've always thought all of these, like, sexual harassment stories were always, like, blown out of proportion or something.
We are kind of low key on all that stuff here.
Like, here we're more, like, family-orientated, and we're nicer,
and we're
I would
more
guess.
violent.
Yeah.
Family-oriented violence.
But when I went over to East Coast for the first time, I tried walking down like the city street, and I got so many catcalls, and like, it was like a mind blow. I was like, I didn't know this actually happened.
Yeah, I thought this was a TV thing.
Yeah, when people do stuff like
you were
that,
like
you're
fanning
like, this
yourself
is
because you're
real.
like, this is awesome.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna catch me a husband.
Going to the coast, any coastal city that I've been in has similar, not obviously the sexual harassment thing. That's never happened to me that I'm aware of. Except for one time when a guy thought I was a girl when I used to have long hair.
Oh.
That's a whole other thing. I have a large ass and I had very pretty long hair. So from the back.
And was it also the tramp stamp?
Yeah, my tramp stamp. It's just a
set you up for problems.
On the tramp stamp.
It's with the Smash Brothers logo in the middle.
But no, it just the rudest people I've ever encountered were when I lived in Oregon. People that, like, the most mind-blowing moment I ever had in that particular context was a guy ran into me and knocked all my shit out of my hands, and, you know, I expected him to be like, sorry, like, because he was in a hurry. I wasn't expecting him to stop and help me pick it up, because, you know, I get it. It was an accident, whatever. But he turned around and said, fuck you, and ran off, and I was like, I didn't do or say anything because I was stunned. Because in Albuquerque, that would never happen. I might knife the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Like, that's the place we grew up in. It's just, it's so weird to me seeing people who have just no concern for the other person at all.
Yeah. What was it? I was up in Seattle back in 2012, and I was hanging with my buddies, and we were walking around downtown, and it was so weird because it was kind of the same thing. Wasn't someone, like running into me or, being like, take it off or what? But like, for some reason, my hand was just kind of cramping. So as we were just walking around, I just was kind of like, I was just holding my hand just kind of like this. And these like two dudes were like sitting on the side, and this guy's just all, that's what you get for jacking too much. Like, excuse me? Like, who are you? And what are you? Yeah,
one-liner.
Yeah,
guy.
thanks. I appreciate it. Like, I seriously, like, I was kind of like, like, I was like, was that to me? Because I was just talking with my friends, and I was, just kind of like, why does my hand kind of hurt? Just a little, whatever. And he's just all, that's what you get for wanking too much. I'm like, what the fuck? It was so weird. I've never experienced anything like that here at all. Where you're just walking, like someone walked by. I mean, even people are like, well, I like your jacket, because it's like people like Port or whatever. But like, I've never been like, hey, you touch yourself too much. Where is this coming from? Who are you?
Who are you?
What happened?
Who taught you that this was okay?
Yeah, and they're just like two just homeless dudes just standing on the side of the road. It's like, okay. You're the same guys that just pee where you are, right? You're just, okay, just making sure you're the guy calling me out. Just making sure. Okay.
This is something I was explaining to Jamie, too, because we, a few months back, took a road trip up to Oregon and down gathering up product for the or for the shop. And we were backing out of, first of all, the roads in Portland are goddamn garbage. Don't ever go there, because all of it, if anyone locally listens to this, all of it is downtown Albuquerque. It's all weird one-ways that don't lead to anything, and it's all potholes and weird, garbage. But because Portland, it's full of fucking hippies as well. And we were leaving this video game store, and I was trying to reverse, and there was just a juggler standing behind my car who wouldn't fucking move. Just homeless juggler guy with fucking dreadlocks, and it looked like he hasn't showered for months. And he's just juggling behind my It's like, move! You're not even like in a spot where people will give you change. You're just behind my car.
Being an asshole.
To the point where I had to just start slowly rolling backwards before he would fucking move. And it's like, what's wrong with... I will run you over.
And see, I would just... Imagine how funny it would be if you just kept going and just slowly ran him over.
He's still juggling.
Look. Yeah. He's just like bending forward.
He died doing what he loved.
Not having a house.
Still, that's not quite the same.
But it's... I like that I co-opted the conversation about, gender inequality and them being harassed and everything. I hate hippies.
Yeah, to wanting to run over a hippie juggler.
But, yeah, I say it a lot because I truly believe it, but Albuquerque has a very nice medium in terms of the personality here. Most people, even the ghettoists, like gangbanger guys, I've heard please and thank yous from.
Yeah.
And it's part of that's that Hispanic culture that breeds in all that family and religion and all that. And then part of it is our Old West kind of mentality that we have here.
Yeah.
And the combo ends up being really nice because I've lived in Denver, I've lived in Oregon, I've lived in California, and just all kinds of different places. And I hated every last one of them. Same with, like, Austin, Texas was kind of cool, but it was still weird in certain ways because I lived there right during Hurricane Katrina, and then there was suddenly a lot of black people in that town, and you could tell there was a very uncomfortable vibe in the air at the time, and I was just like, I gotta go. I'm going back to Albuquerque. Bye, everybody. And then I lived in Waco, Texas, which was the most boring part of my life.
No.
Yeah.
Waco's fun. I've never been to Waco. It sounds awesome.
All that there was to do there was join a bowling league. That was the activity if you didn't want to just drink every night.
That sounds like something that you would want to like right at the beginning of like your suicide note. All they have are bowling leagues.
Which is why I now have a bowling ball bag and shoes, because at the end of the season they gave you a ball bag and
that or
shoes.
you died.
Yeah. It's that or you just sit at home and just drink until the sweet darkness takes you.
That sounds like a fun time.
Yeah.
I'm not envious at all.
It
sounds like I am, but I really am.
That was like 4 or 5 months of me living there just to help my mom after some surgery. It was weird.
Hiccuped.
Yeah, you did.
I thought you just thought it was funny.
No.
Helping my mom. Good child.
Family obligation. That's Star's weak point.
Oh shit! Yeah, we were going to talk about Stranger Things.
Yeah, and how we're not watching it.
Yeah, we're not watching it right now because someone,
Michael.
Pat.
Yeah, throw me under the fucking bus again. We were at Boxy Bear getting our growlers, and I'm sitting there talking to one of the guys who manages the place and everything. And we were just chit-chatting. They were fucking slammed tonight because they had some kind of event going on. It was
like a wedding reception practice or whatever.
Rehersal dinner.
Yeah, it was a rehearsal of something. They said rehearsal
practice
and
wedding.
People. And then I was like, cool, got it. Rehearsal, people, got it. And then I was chit-chatting with them, and I turn around, and, like, everyone's staring at me, and I'm like, what? And apparently you guys just were like, oh, yeah, because of Michael, we're missing Stranger Things, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I had nothing to do with this. Fucking star ass Pat was like, no, we're getting together tonight, and suddenly I'm the fucking asshole. Yep. Thanks, Shanrequa.
What? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Shanrequa just shows up whenever she wants.
Yeah, I had things
throws
to do.
soda on my floor.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Throws the soda and then throws the cat.
Into the soda.
Yeah. Just rolls them.
He has muscles, he can handle it.
Yeah. Muscles the cat.
Yeah.
Muscles
I'm changing his name. He's Muscles now.
What is his real name?
Negan.
Hercules.
Negan.
Yeah.
Like from
Weird.
Walking Dead.
Oh.
Everyone is disappointed with his true name.
I don't like it. Sounds so stupid. What a dumb name.
Change it to Muscles Cat.
Muscles cat.
Muscles Cat.
Name him sweet and
name
sour
him, do you even?
pork. Ugh, bruh.
Bro.
Chicken.
That's like the sound he makes. Whoa.
He's somewhere
on the couch.
He's probably sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
That cat likes that couch.
He's a very quiet cat.
Sort of. When he's getting chatty, he's really noisy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's cute.
Shanrequa,
Hello.
launch the next topic.
What should we talk about?
Or continue with the sexual harassment stories.
Oh, God.
Everyone loves those.
Yeah.
They're feel-good stories for the fam.
Choo choo.
The next
all aboard the
topic.
Derail Express. Yay, new topic.
Yeah.
That could be a.
Next topic is starts the next topic.
Let's talk about.
Oh, we need to come up with fake Stranger Things spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, real Stranger Things spoilers. 100%
Because we
real.
watched the whole season already.
Well, we did.
We're watching it right now.
We just finished, so we know all of the things that's going to happen. Oh my God. When 11 stabs Cooper? What's his name?
After her hair is set on fire.
Oh my God, and that's crazy because they were watching the Pepsi commercial.
Yeah.
That's-
And they were
holy
like,
shit, that's
let's
nuts.
reenact this Michael Jackson scene.
That's what they did. And then it was fucking, it was Will that did it.
Scene.
Yeah.
Will
a little
took out
bitch.
his Zippo lighter that he stole from Jonathan, who doesn't even smoke. He lit Eleven's hair on fire.
He
Yeah.
just have a lighter in case someone else needs a light. He's just that kind of guy.
I got this. I got you, fam.
Yeah.
Oh shit, and when another rider fell down the stairs and broke her neck.
Oh my God.
That was pretty funny. Will! And then she fell down. That was funny.
Was she carrying a bunch of Christmas lights when it happened?
No. Michael.
No, it's Halloween.
It's Stranger Things. Yeah.
God, she was carrying
Put the
candy.
lights away.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. This guy over here with his National Lampoon Stranger
You know
Things.
what? Fine. I'm out of this conversation. You guys carry it.
You
I'm
didn't
out.
watch it.
Yeah, you didn't watch it. You were too busy.
You've never seen Stranger Things?
Not letting us watch it.
What?
Wait, have you not seen Stranger Things?
He just lied to us and said that he watched it when I called him out for not watching
Have you
it.
seriously not seen Stranger Things? Don't stop him. Let him eat that memory card. Break your teeth. Break them all. You deserve this. You've seen Stranger Things, right, Shanrequa?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, what up, fam? How come you haven't seen it? Why have you
Michael?
not seen Stranger Things?
It's like
not
10
like
episodes or 6.
It's 8 episodes for season 1. I think the new one's 9.
I don't know.
8 or 9. I think it's 9.
I forgot when I
Oh
watched
shit,
it.
did you buy the box set of it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, the box set is the
It's
best.
beautiful.
Oh, we went over that last time.
Yeah. No, we talked about it privately.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody was. You didn't hear that.
Like we always do. We have all of our
Yeah, we have all our conversations beforehand, and then as soon as we start recording, it's like, isn't
Yeah,
rape
we were
funny?
laughing our asses
No.
off on the way back from the fucking brewery, and then we got here and we're like,
Yeah, let's talk about assault. That's funny.
remember when we were talking about
Yeah.
that funny shit?
Yeah. Don't you
not
think it's
doing
funny
that.
when like guys are just like rape's funny? Like no, that's not funny. It's not a funny joke.
You guys don't understand comedy.
It is
Yeah.
kind of weird though, because with the whole Hollywood being just gross pedophile shitheads, whatever.
Neat.
I actually thought about that recently with like Stranger Things, and I was like, I really hope none of them got involved in that shit, because that would fucking suck.
Oh, yeah. All
Like, I
those
don't-
kids seem so lovely.
I know, and so just adorable. Holy
Yeah.
shit, fucking Barbara. Oh my god. We, Bobby and I, marathoned season 1 on Wednesday and Thursday because we want to get caught up for the day that we can't watch it.
Yeah, right.
Not eyeballing on this shit, Pat. This is your fault.
Nope.
Hey, nothing. I'll shut it down right now. We'll just go home.
You wish.
My fucking computer. You think I won't do it?
You wish.
This will be a fucking
Should we-
34-minute podcast. We're done.
You wish.
Shanrequa's
But
like,
we were rewatching it, and holy shit, yeah, Barbara is the waifu of season 1. Oh my god, I love Barbara so much. She's so pretty. I don't know. There's something about. I mean, she's supposed to be 16, so it's
When
kinda
she's not
creepy, isn't
being an annoying.
Stop with
butthole.
that. She is the person who has actual thoughts and has the
Is it
well-being
controlled
of.
by hormones?
No, she is basically who I feel all of us would have been in high school. She's the level-headed one who's actually thinking about everybody else.
Yeah, you pepper in some rage with that, and that's probably who I was.
I could imagine you dressing like Barbara in high school.
Dude, I dressed in high school pretty much the exact same way I dress now. Which
So,
is
yes,
jeans,
just like
boots, and a
Barbara.
T-shirt. Except I always wore a leather
And a
jacket,
puffy
even during
vest.
the fucking summer. I was that fucking kid. I was like hardcore leather jacket kid.
Oh,
Not
cool.
leather trench coat. I was
Oh.
hanging out with all the punks and shit.
Oh, cool. So like your cool Misfits patch you bought from Hot Topic?
No, I never put patches on anything. I
Oh,
hung out
good.
like right in between the skaters and the punk kids. So I
Oh,
was like
okay.
this weird hybrid human being. Mostly I just hung out with him because that meant I got to get in fistfights a lot.
Michael.
I had anger issues, man. I did not handle my parents' divorce very well.
Did you skateboard?
I tried once, and I popped my arm out of the socket.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't need to
I can't
do
even,
that.
like, I'm just picturing you not even falling over as soon as you just start rolling. Just
Falls out.
Well, yeah, the friend who was teaching me how to skateboard, which is the same friend who later got me expelled from high school, but that's another story, basically started me with like, hey, just go off of this really long drop. You'll be fine. He went with the deep end philosophy of learning to skateboard. And the board, I landed, the board shot out from under me. I did a backflip essentially and just snapped my arm out of the socket. And then he was just like, oh shit, and kind of like ran off.
Oh, so I'm picturing like when you say like a drop, I'm thinking of like a Wile E. Coyote skit where just like it's just a giant canyon. You just
Like in the episode of
It was
Simpsons.
essentially kind of like
yeah,
a
jumping the
dump.
gourd.
Yeah.
Essentially kind of height.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think we were at like the zoo. I don't remember why we're at the zoo.
That's
To
weird.
pop your arm out at
Yeah,
the zoo.
just snap, cool. Fuck me, I guess.
Yeah.
And then my dad had to come pick me up, but this was during the age when I didn't have a cell phone. So I had to walk to a neighboring business with my arm all fucked and ask them if I could use their phone to call my dad.
They make you buy something?
No.
No, this is back when people were kind of cool about shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, can I use your phone really quick? Because most people weren't fucking dipshits and doing drug deals.
Yeah, the other time I had to do that, I was running late to high school, so I stole my little brother's bike because I had missed the bus and I was gonna ride to school, and then a fucking cat, I think, jumped out in front of me. I was on one of the irrigation ditches that are all over Albuquerque.
The arroyos?
Yeah. Well, there's like the dirt ditches and then there's like the big.
The paved ones.
Yeah, this was one of the dirt ones.
Oh, okay.
And I fucking swerved, crashed the bike, went over to the handlebars, hit a log, and knocked myself out. And woke up in this bush, and apparently was covered in fucking blood and didn't realize it because, you know, you get a head wound and you kind of just get out of it. Again, walked to a nearby business and asked them if I could use the phone, and the lady behind the counter was just freaking the fuck out. Like,
I just need to make a phone call while you yell at me.
And then I proceeded to go back to the high school because this lady was freaking out and I just had to leave. And then they put me into in-school suspension for showing up late while I was all bloody.
Cool.
Yeah, my dad showed up and was just fucking tearing everyone's head off. Then I had to go get x-rays.
Your dad's Sub-Zero?
Yeah.
Whoa. What a cool dad. I'm getting more
Sub-Zero dressed like a postman.
Whoa.
Whoa. Undercover.
Yeah. My dad was a mailman for quite a long time.
Wow.
And then he snapped his collarbone doing something for the post office, and then they put him in injury compensation, whereas you just like read everyone's files for how they got hurt and decide whether or not they get fucking paid out for it.
Oh.
His was not because he was trying to do backflips off of mailboxes, and they're like, nope.
Nope.
Sorry.
It's just parkour male
Oh,
dad.
Every time I got suspended from school, I would go there and help him file paperwork. And the one that sticks in my head was this guy who
Egg.
didn't tie off his ladder properly, and he was working on the outside of a building, working on an air conditioning vent, and he fell to like a couple stories down and hit another like ductwork section. Went through it, fell down a few floors through the ducts, and broke both of his arms and legs, and was just stuck in the ducts because he couldn't move. And technically, the post office was not liable because he didn't tie off his ladder.
Jesus.
Tie off your shit. It's important.
Wow.
Wear your vests, tie off your shit, make sure there's not a methane deposit when you go underground because you'll die.
Jesus Christ.
These are the things I learned while being
In elementary school,
suspended. No, high school.
girl I didn't like,
Oh.
she fell out of a tree and broke both her arms. And when I saw her with her arms just up in the casts, I was so happy.
Did you run forward and high five her?
No, I didn't like her.
No, it's like, but you should have high-fived her. Just all, hey, way to go.
No,
Yeah.
I was just like,
Nailed it.
Do you need a hand?
Star's sassy. Shanrequa's quietly sassy. Like, I feel like she wants to say a bunch of sassy stuff and then just doesn't.
You say it internally.
Yeah,
And then you
I've
just
been
leave.
eating chicken on a stick. I ate 4 of them.
4
goes my
chickens on a
diet.
sticks? You ate two chickens on a sticks?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude.
Michael, stop laughing at our math.
Podcast is
What else
dying.
happened?
Mario.
Oh yeah, we're going back.
came
Why
out
have you not
today?
seen Stranger Things?
Oh,
I have seen Stranger Things.
No, you haven't.
he lied.
Yeah, you're a
I
liar.
didn't say a fucking word.
You're a
You two
liar.
had an entire conversation about what I have and haven't done.
You lied to me in the message group. and said you saw Stranger Things.
I have.
All of it?
The first season.
Michael.
What happens at the very end of the last episode of season 1?
Someone like barfs up a slug.
I hate you. Who is this someone?
The kid they're looking for the whole time.
Ron Weasley? Wrong.
Is it Ron Weasley?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he barfs up a slug.
She barfs up several slugs.
Yeah.
But no, I actually liked it a lot. I also watched the Super Fruit.
Oh my
remake.
gosh, the Super Fruit remake is like the best.
What's the Super Fruit remake?
Oh my
They
gosh.
did a 3-minute summary of Stranger Things, and they were all wearing
Reenacted
wigs
it.
the whole
Yeah.
thing. It's so fucking funny.
Oh, the only like thing like that I've seen was like Stranger Pugs, and it was just
Oh no.
someone did like it was like Doug the Pug, and it's just
Never
they
let
put
Sam see
they
that.
put little wigs on it, and it's supposed to be 11, so they just had like a pug
No.
with like gross curly hair,
Yep.
and then just an Eggo waffle in front of it. And that's the only.
I'll send you the Super Fruit.
Okay, I'll check that one out.
It's really funny.
It's really funny.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I really want to watch season 2. I have to wait.
Me
till-
too.
Oh, me too. I want to watch season 1.
On the plus side, though, we can watch it tomorrow,
Yeah.
which is gonna be good.
But
Takes time
Mario
away from
came
my
out.
Mario
so what
Odyssey.
Are we gonna do?
What a good day.
If only
2
we could
things
enjoy
came
it.
out. I know. If only we could
Shit.
enjoy it. Now we just have to hang out with Michael. Oh, hey, Mike.
And Shanrequa's here too.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Drink is good.
Well, no, but hanging out with Michael's the part that makes it
Wearing
real
a
fun.
Slytherin jacket.
Yeah.
That
We
is
did
the best house.
Slytherin. Yeah, best house.
Yep.
How's it the best house? It's full of jerks.
No,
How
it's
dare
the
you.
best.
It's full of jerks.
Like the real hat sorted me in Slytherin.
I feel like I would be
It
in
was
Hufflepuff
exciting.
because Hufflepuff just sounds like the dumb fuck ups.
I probably would have been Hufflepuff as well. Everyone likes to be
When-
like,
oh,
Gryffindor.
no.
It's like, fuck you.
I was gonna ask
Mike
you
was
what house.
definitely
What house?
Slytherin.
You still, even though. So I had a Harry Potter themed birthday party one year, and everybody that came in got to reach into a cauldron and draw out a house scarf, and that determined what house they got in. But if you didn't come in costume, and mind, only 2 people out of I don't know how many people didn't come in costume, and Michael was one of them, and they were forced to wear these ripped, dirty T-shirts, and they were house elves.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
But we still let them get a house, but I don't know, you probably don't remember what house you pulled.
I thought I was Hufflepuff.
Do you remember the color?
I think it was blue. I think that's Ravenclaw, right?
Blue's Ravenclaw.
So probably, yeah. I think it was blue.
There was an orange is Hufflepuff, and then red is Gryffindor.
Red is Gryffindor.
I still have that somewhere. I'll find it. We'll reference
Yeah,
it next
okay.
podcast.
We'll
It is
find
funny
out
that
what
it's a
house we're in.
costume party, and then fucking who doesn't show up in a costume? Goddamn Michael.
We knew somebody wouldn't.
We just knew.
Everyone knew I wasn't going to come in costume.
But it was ridiculous that 98% of the people I invited randomly had
Some
a
Harry Potter
costume.
Like,
paraphernalia.
everyone fucking had robes.
Yeah.
Like wands.
It was incredible.
Just laying the fuck around.
Yeah, it's almost as if they're cheap and easy to make. It's like it's just
Those
a
were
robe
not, like,
with a
homemade
scarf.
wand, like robes and shit. These people clearly have Harry Potter like
Yeah,
collection.
it's almost as if Harry Potter's a really popular story and a lot of people like it.
I have the books and the movies. I just don't have fucking clothing based around it.
Fucking nerd. Get on their level.
I've been rewatching the movies recently too.
They're
I've stalled out
entertaining.
at Order of the Phoenix.
Uh,
Thing. Like, I'm trying. I really am. And it's just I'm reaching that point where I was like, God.
I can't stand how Emma Watson acts. I don't like her. Like, she's very proper, but I hate the way she talks, and I can't stand how Daniel Radcliffe never closes his mouth. He always says like this, like grimacy, like he's.
I'll have to pay attention.
No, every scene he's just hello, and he's not a good
does
actor in
do
those
that.
movies.
I noticed it a lot
All the
more
time,
as
he
a
never
kid.
fucking closes his mouth.
When he was a kid, I noticed it a lot more.
Oh, he
but-
still does it as an adult, and he
Oh,
stands
he
out
still does it.
as one of the worst actors in the movie. I mean, he does an okay job, but he always seems like he is thinking about the blocking of his character while he's doing it. Because you look at the kid who plays Neville, and amazing. There's a lot of actors in that movie that do a really good job. And for some reason, like, just show you can't see this on. Just watch the video. You know what I'm talking about. But Harry Potter's always like, Hagrid. Like, it feels like he's like, oh, now I need to turn this way. Just kind of, Hagrid, get out of here with your monsters.
It also feels.
Everything feels very stiff and. Yeah.
It also feels like he was kind of done with it by the time he got to the later ones.
Well, I think he kind of realized that, oh, this is my life. He's a good actor. Great. He can be a great actor.
He's just fucking great at so many other things, but in that thing, by near the end especially, he's just like, paycheck, 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 paycheck. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, there's so many times where you just watch him stand there, and instead of being like, like ready for battle, he's just kind of like, get out of here. He's just standing like perfectly still, like, I need to go this way. Wingardium Leviosa! Children, get out of here. I can't stand the way he acts. Fucking Ronald Weasley's just a fucking mopey butthole the whole time. God, he's just awful.
Yeah.
And just Hermione, I can't get past her. Her lines feel so forced. Harry, you've got to be kidding. Every time.
Pat's got some issues.
I don't like
strong
her. I don't like her. I love the movies. They're fun movies. But I'm one of those over-analytical buttholes that just like one little thing just drives me fucking nuts, and I can't get over it.
Overacting. Right?
Yeah, Jesus. As I sit there like, God!
Like, yeah, because Pat's never done anything dramatic in
whatever.
His entire life.
Shut up. Bobby says I'm so dramatic, and I'm just like, you're dramatic.
Faints.
Yeah, I do that. I'm always clutching the pearls. I'm like, oh. It's funny. Yeah, those movies are pretty enjoyable. There's certain parts of them that are just kind of like, that's stupid. Okay. Like, what was it? Ron's brothers. How they're just like, they just show up sometimes and they're just like, we run a magic shop.
Yeah, I'm the other kind of asshole who's like, I like the books better. Like, I'm that guy, all with everything.
Oh.
Not
those guys. You're like, man, this book that was so boring to read.
See, Pat is not a reader.
I don't like to read books. It's boring as shit. I can read. Because that's the thing. Every time I say that I hate books, everyone probably just assumes it's because I'm illiterate. I know how to read. I have a very active imagination. I can think of crazy shit. But somehow reading books, my brain just can never get past you're just looking at black words on a white page. To me, I'm always just sitting there. It's just like, and then he walked down the corridor and he saw the Slytherin kid and he said, hey, fucker, get away. And that shit, I'm like, oh, I'm reading a book.
Slytherin.
Yeah, get out of here, you bitch. I hate you.
It becomes like a greaser kind of rumble.
That'd be cool.
I'd watch that.
That'd be cool.
No, I get it. The immersion part of reading's never been a problem for me, but I started reading very young because much like nowadays, I could never sleep when I was younger. And reading would help.
Best way to fall asleep is open a book. Am I right? That's the best way. I'm like, I can't sleep. Just as soon as I open a book, just I'm out like a light.
It was one of those things where I'd be up at like midnight, my whole family's asleep, and I don't want to turn the TV on or anything. Mm-hmm. So I'd start reading so I wouldn't bother anybody. And then that ended up with me having a gigantic fantasy adventure collection.
Yeah, see, I never got that. To me, reading was always an assignment.
Yeah, see, I read before it became like book reports and shit like that, so it was something I did for fun. Like, I was that kid where the teacher's like, this week we're reading, whatever. And I'm like, I read that already. Like, yeah. I'm going to go read something else.
They're like, we're reading Huck Finn. You're just like, oh, cool, the book where they say the N-word all the time.
No. That's why I learned how to say the N-word.
Yeah.
One of my teachers always tried to make us read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe when I was in elementary school, which I had already read like fucking 15 times. I never got into it. The Narnia stuff.
This is that I've read 15 times. Can't get into it. Just I always put it back down after
I've read it a lot, but I've read lots of things.
I can't get into books. It's boring.
I did have to read fucking Where the Red Fern Grows like 19 times.
Yeah, elementary school. Yeah, it's fucking awful.
I read
that and Indian in the Cupboard.
Middle school because I kept transferring schools because my parents split up and I kept moving around. Mm-hmm. So I read it in elementary school and in middle school and then in high school as well. They kept assigning me to read the goddamn Where the Red Fern Grows.
That seems like a weird book to make high schoolers read. Yeah. I read that in I think 3rd grade.
And then they made me watch the movie for Taming of the Shrew. So like any of the like actual reading, like Shakespearean stuff or anything like that, they just played a movie. It's like, come the fuck on. This is like stuff I actually want to read, and you're like, just watch the movie. It's just as good.
I'd rather watch the Leonardo DiCaprio version of Romeo and Juliet than read that play. I am totally kidding. That movie is not very good.
I like it, but I like Baz Luhrmann, so.
It is kind of funny. So draw your swords, and he just pulls out a Glock. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't translate very well, but okay.
That's not a sword.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed very dramatic. Capriccio, or what was his name? Capriccio?
That sounds correct.
He's just like covered in tattoos.
It's been a long
You're like,
fucking time.
that's weird.
And that guy, Jamie Kennedy.
Whoa, Jamie Kennedy was in that?
Yeah.
Weird.
He was like the cousin or something.
Like,
The only thing that I remember
Wasn't he
Jamie
in
Kennedy
that?
being is either Malibu's
Or is
Most
it
Wanted
Matt
or
Lillard?
Scream.
Matt Lillard.
those are very
Matthew
different people.
Lillard from Scooby-Doo, the guy who
Scream?
played Shaggy.
Yeah, of Scooby-Doo fame.
Well, Matthew
Scream?
Lillard is also in Scream.
Yeah,
No,
so
I'm talking about
Jamie
Jamie Kennedy.
They're both in
He's in Scream.
Yeah.
That was the oh shit. We need to talk about Scream. I didn't see that until maybe
Do we need to talk
4 years ago.
The
Scream's
movie?
fucking awesome. I had not seen that until
Oh
like
my
4
gosh,
years ago.
yeah, it's
I had
wonderful.
never seen that, and I saw like Scary Movie and all the movies that made fun of it. I just didn't understand what Ghostface Killer was. I mean, aside from a cool rapper.
Yeah.
But I finally watched it. It was on Netflix. I just watched it one day, and I was like, holy fuck, this is an amazing horror
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
it's
a
a
great
really
slasher.
good slasher movie because it is not taking itself seriously. I still think one of the best scenes of any horror movie is the scene where Jamie Kennedy is like sitting in the living room and he's
Yeah.
watching Halloween. And he's just like,
he's
all,
right
look, he's right
behind
behind you, Jamie. Turn around, you idiot! And just the monsters just, or the Ghostface Killer's like right behind Jamie Kennedy. It's like that is so fucking funny. I was explaining it to Bobby because he, I guess, just wasn't really connecting. It was Jamie Kennedy. I was like, that's hilarious. Like, why is that so funny? It's like his name's Jamie Kennedy and it's Jamie Lee Curtis. You turn around,
Yeah.
that's funny. And he's just kind of like, oh, okay. I'm like,
I don't get it.
but fucking genius. I
Matthew
love
Lillard
that shit.
cracks me up in that fucking movie.
It's
too.
weird that he was just like murdering people.
Just the part
Yeah.
where he's like, he's dying from blood loss. He just starts being really fucking weird near the end of the movie.
Oh yeah.
I'm fucking woozy.
They're
Like,
stabbing each
the
other.
part where the guy like hit him in the that's one of those natural lines where the guy is like talking to Sydney and he's like fucking Skeet Ulrich or whatever.
Yeah.
He fucking throws the phone at Matthew Lillard's character and it hits him in the head. And that's like an actual response for him because the guy actually hit him in the head with the phone. He's like, fucking hit me with the phone, dick! It's just so funny.
Yeah.
He still stays all woozy when he yells it, but he's just like, he's just calling this other actor a dick.
That's pretty
I
funny.
love it's a very. Have you seen that, Shanrequa?
No.
Of course you have. It's
You need to
very
watch
fun.
Scream.
Okay.
It's a really good horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will.
would
You
rank
can
them
see
Scream
all of
1,
our
2,
high
4,
school
and 3.
fashion.
I've only seen the first
Oh,
one.
God.
I haven't seen the later ones
Scream
because they weren't
1
on
and 2
Netflix
are
at the time.
both very good.
I've heard Scream
I
2 is a
like
pretty
them.
good sequel.
And they
I
become
liked
very
the
self-aware.
last one.
Scream 4. I
Yeah.
liked it a lot.
It was
3 is the weakest out of all of them, but it's still good because in 3 they're filming a movie about all the killings.
So it's kinda
at a
self-aware.
certain point, well, yeah, these people are hanging out with the actors who are playing them.
Yeah.
So like you have 2 Sydneys in a room and all that stuff because it's poking fun at itself a lot, but
Nice.
it's still.
But it was a very
fun.
light-hearted horror movie. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a
and-
slasher movie, but it does it in a way that it's not scary movie. It's not slapsticky jokey.
Yeah.
But it's very self-aware. It knows that it's basically a
it's doing,
parody
yeah.
of Halloween or of Friday the 13th.
So like watch the 4th one if you ever get a chance because even just the opening of that is so self-aware, making fun of itself. I don't want to spoil it for you. You'll very much enjoy it.
Nice. Yeah, I'll check that one out. Oh, we should talk about spooky movies because it's almost Halloween. Spooky.
It
Yeah,
is.
we have a few days left
Star?
until Halloween.
I have put your movie in the DVD player.
What movie?
Oh my God. Michael borrowed from me Something Wicked, This Way Comes approximately 4 years ago.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. And
You just now put it in the DVD player, but you put it in and then shut it off? Is that what happened?
I put it in, I was waiting for Sam to get home, and then she was running late, and I fell asleep. So that's what happened with that.
and now I've demanded return of the movie. So
and now he's just like, I want to watch it now.
yeah.
That's
I
funny.
want to watch
because
it before I return it.
Did you know that DVDs you can only watch once?
And then they self-destruct.
So you couldn't have watched it before and then just watched it again with Sam. I mean, Bobby and I have done that with
So
movies.
I have a really bad habit of looking at people when I've watched a movie before they have. Like, I know it's a really shitty thing. That's why I try and sit behind or in front of people when I've already seen a movie.
So you just have a telltale sign that you
that something's coming.
Like it's just like, Michael, let's go see this movie together. Don't see it before me. Okay, and you just turn around yourself.
Well, I'm one of those guys who will, like, when a good moment's coming, I want to see how you're going to react, and I'll ruin the fucking build up to a moment. I know that about myself. It's one of my worst traits as a human being. It's like, I know there's a funny joke coming, so I look over and be like,
yeah.
Are you gonna laugh?
I do the same thing when I was trying to get people to play through PT.
Yeah.
I know where all the scary parts are happening, so as soon as that happens, I'm just kind of like looking over at you to see, oh, is this the spooky part? Or is this gonna make you jump? And so I just totally give away. And the worst is
terrible fucking habit. And it's so when it's something I actually care about, I try really hard not to see it before Sam does, so we can actually enjoy it and I don't ruin it.
Have you just tried not doing that? You just have to be an asshole. You have to.
I can't
turn your head and look,
man.
You gotta.
I enjoy seeing people enjoy things, and then I ruin it for them by doing that.
By watching them enjoy things, they're like, "Stop watching me enjoy this."
Yeah,
that's fine. But anyway, what's your favorite spooky movie?
My favorite spooky movie?
Yeah. What's your favorite and why?
So none of them really like scare me.
They're not to scare you, but what's your favorite spooky movie that you enjoy watching the most?
Yeah, your favorite
movie
to watch around Halloween.
Because let's be real, we're adults and movies aren't very scary anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place on that one. In terms of like a monster movie, I actually really like Cursed. I know a lot of people give me shit for that one, but it's the Christina Ricci werewolf movie.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It was one of those ones that was actually kind of controversial at the time. It was one of those ones that after it like was made and everything, they like cut it down to be PG-13. It was supposed to be released as an R. It was a whole fucking thing.
Oh, okay.
But it's just a fun. These brother and sister are driving on a back road and they hit an animal. Was essentially the storyline, and they swerve off a road, run someone else off the road, trying to avoid this dog, and they go to help the other driver, and while they're talking to her, she gets ripped out of the car by a fucking werewolf and torn to pieces or whatever, and while they're trying to save her from it, they both get scratched or bit. So over the course of this movie, they slowly turn into werewolves, and like, you know, she works in an advertising firm, her brother's in like high school, so it watches them go from like, you know, meek people to being like hyper aggressive. Like there's a part where the little brother, who was Jesse Eisenberg, and this is before he was like really famous, he's getting bullied by Milo Ventimiglia or whatever fucking
Jesse from Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, that guy. He's got Christian Slater's stroke mouth. Really,
it's okay because he's really good looking. So
yeah, he just talks out of the side of his mouth all the time.
That's cool.
Yeah,
he's like little Nicky.
But the two of them get into a wrestling match. And just to, you know, and the kid's just like lifting him up above his head and doing all this shit. And he does this whole thing where the Milo character is calling him gay the whole movie and calling him a fairy and fag and all this stuff. And then one of the powers you get for being a werewolf is unnatural sexual allure. That's like one of your powers. So this kid comes to Jesse Eisenberg's door, and he's like, how did you know? And like all this stuff. And he's like, it turns out that guy's gay, and that's why he's been harassing him. And the like guy's following him around, all in love with him for the whole rest of it. It's so fucking funny.
Weird.
It's a really weird part of the movie, but it is so much goddamn fun. And it's got the kid from Dawson's Creek in it. I can never remember his name. Not Vanderbeek, but the other one.
Pacey.
Yeah, Pacey. Anyways, I like that one a lot. And a lot of old school horror movies, like black and whites. I do like House on Haunted Hill and Hill House and stuff like that.
Like Psycho and stuff.
Yeah, I like those a lot. Just because I'm a huge fan of practical effects.
That's all those were.
Yeah, modern movies, too much CG kind of takes me out of it. But that's why I like slasher movies too, like the old school Jasons and everything. It's like, this is just a dude ripping the head off of a fake body. Like, that's all this is, and it's fun for me.
Yeah. Blonde mannequin is now a decapitated mannequin.
So I get way too into fucking movies.
What about you, Shanrequa? What's your favorite horror movie?
My favorite spooky movie is Trick or Treat. I don't know.
It was pretty good.
Is that with like the what is it? The scarecrow guy with like the jack-o'-lantern head?
He has like a burlap sack over his head.
Oh no, I'm thinking of.
Town the Dreaded Sundown.
No, it's like attacks of Jeepers Creepers. I think.
Yeah.
I think the first one's like that. I think the second one's like a weird bat It like attacks a school bus.
It does fly. It attacks them from above. But
yeah. Jeepers Creepers is a demon. It's the same monster in both movies.
Oh, okay.
But he dresses up as a guy with like a big hat and a trench coat.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I actually like those movies a lot too. They're very high on my list. I enjoy them.
Yeah, shurikens made out of like katanas. I mean,
shurikens made out of giant swords.
Katanas.
Holy shit, that's terrifying.
Yeah, shurikens made out of belly buttons.
Yeah, he uses like the skin and bones that he takes from people and makes weapons out of them.
Cool.
So like one of
belly button shurikens.
Yeah,
cool.
It's a tie-in to fucking God, what's the kid's name? Shanrequa, help me.
The kid.
Justin Long.
Oh.
His character has a rose tattoo on his
I'm
stomach,
glad I
and
could
that's
help.
like the tie-in. He throws a shuriken. It's got a rose tattoo on it.
Oh, okay.
It's starts throwing me fortune cookies.
But yeah, trick or treat.
Yeah, Trick or Treat's really good. It's like a bunch of classic, like scary stories that kids would tell.
But it's always isn't like the monster always the same in all of them, or like it.
It's all connected.
Yes, somehow they're all connected.
Yeah.
Right. So I think I've seen that one.
Like that. I haven't seen that one, but I heard that one was actually
it's really good.
It is.
There's Sam and I also have a huge soft spot for like hokey B horror movies and shit like that.
Really cheesy ones.
Yeah. So, what is your particular favorite?
My favorite spooky movie is The Blair Witch Project. 99% of that movie is boring horse shit. I will completely admit that movie is fucking boring. However, to me, that's what makes it so cool. Is because when you think of all found footage movies, because that's kind of the pioneer of it, it's really the first movie that did that.
Yeah.
It's in the mainstream.
There's like you can very easily argue that that's the pioneer of that. genre.
But like, what happened in the Blair Witch Project?
They wandered around in the woods.
They lose a map.
Guys, like disappeared.
They lose a map. It's them just like talking to each other.
They get like a weird bandana full of like teeth and stuff like that.
Or like it's like a little bag of teeth.
And then they essentially find a farmhouse.
Remember when there's parts where they were running and just for some reason they filmed their feet?
Yeah.
No, that didn't happen. That happens in all other found footage movies. I'm sorry, Cloverfield. Stop aiming at your feet. There's a fucking monster. Point your camera at the monster.
Yeah.
I don't understand the camera work in these movies.
Also,
it's like
it drives me crazy on the similar point. When they're aiming at their feet, it's always perfectly steady at their feet.
Yeah, it's perfectly
steady. If you were doing that, at least do the fucking I'm running.
Yeah, so it's going back and then
like
down.
You're fucking sprinting, not.
Yeah, look at my shuffling feet. But like it doesn't seem natural with the way that people film movies now, how people like can record stuff. So it's like the Blair Witch Project, they had giant VHS cameras, but like Cloverfield, it's a small camera. What the fuck are you doing? Like, oh look at the monster. Oh my feet.
Yeah.
But all it is
like
them
digital camera
arguing.
Recording a birthday party.
Yeah,
like
and that part's really interesting. We better leave that in for the found footage. Oh, oops, we found this part of these kids that were murdered by a giant monster. We better put in the birthday party at the beginning. What the fuck is this found footage? But with the Blair Witch Project, it feels like this is the footage that we found from these 3 filmmakers. They were lost in the woods, and we just happened to find this. But the whole time, they keep talking about the Blair Witch, and she's so spooky. She murders kids and makes the other kids sit in the corner watching the corner, and you can't see murdering all the babies. At the very end of the movie, where they get lost, like she's just in this house by herself. That's already kind of unnerving. Yeah. This fucking dark ass house. She goes down into the basement, and she's alone, and then she just like points the camera towards the corner, and you just see her friend standing in the corner. And then the camera falls over, and that whole fucking movie, you don't see anything. You don't see a single goddamn monster, nothing. We don't even know if the Blair Witch is real. She could have been murdered by her friends. We don't know. That's what makes that so unnerving, is because that movie feels very real. Is that you see them start to go crazy because we're fucking lost. They're starting to argue with each other. It felt so real. And just that part at the end of just like going into the basement, just seeing like the only person just like standing in the corner, it's like, no. It's fucking creepy. And then I don't know, I hate them, but I also love them. But the Paranormal Activity movies.
I liked the first one.
I've never watched
boring. They're so boring. Who would have thought the ghosts could be so uninteresting?
I thought the first one and third one.
The way that they're done, I think, is really smart. Especially the first one. To think that movie was made on like a budget of like $10,000, and they just printed money. Like they made so much money with that movie.
Yeah, well, that's why that genre became so fucking popular, is because it costs nothing.
It costs nothing to make. They just buy one camera and just sit it somewhere and just, how about we just film nothing for 90 minutes?
I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about this the other day, where horror movies in general are just the go-to for low cost versus return. Even if you make a crap horror movie,
it generally makes
if you
its money
release it
back.
at the right time of year, you're gonna
for
make
Halloween
money
you
off
can
it.
just print money. Like the new Jigsaw movie looks fucking awful.
Yeah.
But it's coming out today, so
people are gonna go see
Halloween
it. It's
time.
gonna fucking make money. The podcast, it was actually a Funhouse podcast where they were reviewing Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which is one of my favorite horror movies.
But it's a cheesy B movie. It's just cheesy.
Well, they were talking about the fact that the movie was actually made by guys who ran a special effects company.
The Chiodo brothers.
Yeah. So the acting and the script isn't amazing, but the clowns look amazing. All the props and effects are great. Because again, practical effects guy. Like I love that shit. And it's got one of my favorite kills of all time. Is the clown that's flying on the invisible motorcycle? Well, yes, the midget clown that punches the guy's head off.
Knock your block off.
Yeah, you're gonna knock my block off, and then he just uppercuts the dude's head off. So fucking funny to me. But there's one that's a guy is driving on like a mountain road, and he looks in his mirror and there's headlights, and the headlights pull up beside him, and it's just a clown holding a steering wheel with like headlights on his feet. And he's just flying, and then he's like slamming into this car, and this car's like I love silly shit
cheesy.
like that.
But it, like in the context of the movie, that could work, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah, because they established the premise: killer clowns, outer space. That's it.
It's pretty outlandish already.
And what the Funhouse guys say is, you can very clearly tell that this is a whiteboard movie, and what they mean by that is they took a whiteboard and they wrote down clowns, aliens, and they're like, okay, so what are things that clowns do? Puppet shows, silly bikes,
balloons,
clown car, balloons, popcorn. Like they go through this thing, and then they found a way to hit a horror beat on each one of these fucking things. And I love that. I love movie making like that. And we don't, because again, horror movies are a way to make money now. We kind of lose that cheesy, Jason killing kids in the woods kind of feel. Everything is always has to either be realistic or a big money maker somehow, like CG'd out the ass.
Yeah.
Like did you ever see the Friday the 13th remake?
No.
Yeah, quick aside, this is how you get me rambling and start talking about movies and TV. I fucking go. But the Friday the 13th remake, they felt the need to... Have you ever seen the original, Shanrequa?
No.
Didn't think so.
She doesn't see movies. Yeah, let's establish that now. Have you seen this movie?
A recurring theme for 80s movie villains, or late 70s, early 80s, was that they would kind of just... It didn't matter how far or how fast you ran, you would turn around and the guy is still Terminator walking at you at like a set pace.
And he's always right there.
Or he would just suddenly be in front of you. And this was just a spooky, creepy thing that these killers could do. Like, Jason, they never explained it. Like, he would just... Doesn't matter where the fuck you go, he just appears near you and rips your fucking head off. Because Jason's established superpowers, by the way, are that he is unkillable and he has super strength. Like, those are his things. He's afraid of water, he's unkillable, and he has super strength. Those are his traits.
Except that they kill him all the time.
They kill him all the time, but he always comes back. That's his unkillable.
It's like he's gone for 3 months. And
killing him is hibernation,
pretty
essentially.
Much. Yeah.
But,
he's respawning.
Yeah, he's on a respawn timer. He'll be back. But then they remade Friday the 13th, and they explained the way he does that. And it's the silliest, stupid bullshit I've ever seen. Because what they did was they established that he has tunnels all over Camp Crystal Lake.
Oh.
So when you don't see him, he's
crawling underneath the thing.
Yeah, they show it, and it's the silliest fucking thing ever. He's speed crawling through these tunnels so that he can get in front of people and start creepy walking again. And it's like, what the... no one
horrible.
asked that question.
Why would you ruin
No one
that?
in the world wanted the explanation for how the magic bad guy teleports. He teleports. We're cool with it. Why? They did the same thing with Michael Myers. Michael Myers has a very similar... He'll just appear, kind of kill you style. And Michael Myers is weird because he spares some people and kills others.
He mostly just wants to kill Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, and anyone who gets in his way associated with that.
But if someone's just like walking their dog, he's not just like free meat.
Yeah, there's a scene in the second movie that the second movie picks up the shot after the end of the first movie, and he goes into this house, and he's another unkillable bad guy. They shoot him like 14 times in that movie, and he just gets back.
Yeah,
up.
he's just like, oh, all right.
And he goes into a house that has an unlocked back door. There's a giant butcher knife there, and like a woman watching TV, not paying attention. And he takes the knife, looks at her, and then just leaves because she's not on the list. Like, he doesn't give a
she's
shit.
not stopping him. She's not in the way. It's just
So he's just on an unstoppable path to kill Jamie Lee Curtis because that's his sister, and there's like a weird tie.
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
No, I think they established that in the first one, right?
No, the very first one, like
the
right
beginning.
away they established that.
Jamie, have you seen your brother Michael Myers? No, he's
Yeah,
dead.
and for some reason, like, he doesn't go to kill her. Like, he kills his whole family and spares her, and then
it eventually leads to him trying to kill her.
Yeah, it's
because something
weird.
happens. Yeah, like, you betrayed me, sister.
Anyways, we're going with it as in, like, Michael Myers 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. You know, Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers. So,
Yeah.
which has Paul Rudd in it, really randomly.
Weird.
Yeah, he's like the male lead in that movie. But so they try to explain all of his supernatural characteristics. So essentially, their family has been cursed by like evil druids or something, and anytime certain star or like, you know, astrological symbol
sign,
is visible in the sky, he's visible. And then when it's covered up by clouds or anything like that, he can like teleport or move around or something stupid like that. It's like the weirdest, lamest attempt at an explanation. And yeah, so like, you know, the star sign's visible, he's right there, and then it gets covered up and he's gone again. It's
Can't they just like cover it up with their hand and then they can't see you? You're just always teleporting.
So like he has a weird invisibility teleportation thing that doesn't make any sense. And then they made the next movie, which was H2O. Halloween 20 years later.
Oh, God.
And they just got rid of all that shit.
Good.
They're like, he's just back to a silent, unkillable monster. Which that's the one that's got an iconic scene in it where there's like a guy on the floor who's bleeding out and everything, and one of the teachers, because it takes place in school, goes to save this guy. And then from behind him, from like the rafters, Michael Myers lowers himself down by one arm and is just staring at him. It's a really creepy shot. The rest of the movie is meh. But that one shot is so fucking... Because he's just hanging there by one arm staring at this guy with a knife in his hand. It's like... It's really fucking cool. It's a great shot.
Nice.
I'm nerding out really hard. I apologize, everybody.
That's okay. But see, kind of going into like the weird backstory shit, that's kind of what they did with Paranormal Activity. Because like the first one, there's just a ghost in the house. Because, Star, have you seen all of them?
Yes.
See,
well, I stopped after the one with the witches. When
the one with the eyes,
the house across the street or whatever.
Yeah, okay, so that was the last one I saw. I haven't
one.
seen like the Lost Mother.
Yeah, because I thought it was just more of those, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about these people.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But the thing that I really dug about the series of Paranormal Activity is that it has the same underlying story for all of them. So like Paranormal Activity 1 follows some stupid bitch named Katie, and then she disappears at the end of it. And then Paranormal Activity 2 it takes place like 3 days before Paranormal Activity 1?
I think so.
And it's Katie's sister.
Yeah.
And then the end of the movie is Katie, like where she disappeared in the first movie. She shows up and like steals a baby from the second one, then she leaves. The third one takes place in the 80s, and it's Katie and her sister. So you find out that like her family's cursed. But then like the fourth one, you find out that like
it's the kids of somebody.
It was like the neighbor, but then because the fourth one was the one with the Xbox. Remember?
Yeah.
They had the Xbox Connect, and they're like, we see ghosts. And so it had something to do with like they were the babysitters. And then the fifth one, which I forget the name of it, but it was like some like Mexican family and some dude's like pulling hair out of his eyes. It was really fucking weird. But I dug the end of that one was really cool because like in the first movie there's a scene where Katie like walks downstairs at the end of the movie, and spoiler alert if you haven't seen these 10-year-old movies, but she like walks down the stairs. And Micah, her husband, is like upstairs sleeping, and as soon as she gets downstairs, she starts screaming really loud. And then Micah runs downstairs, and that's essentially where she murders him. You don't see this; it's just off camera, or whatever. Well, in the fifth Paranormal Activity movie, the end of the movie, he's like going through these houses, and it does that weird like trope where like you open the door and suddenly you're in a different area. It's like, oh, you open the front door to the Gamers Not Up, so suddenly you're on the moon. What am I doing here? But he like opens his door and then he's just like in this kitchen. He's like, wait, what the fuck? And then he just looks over and you just see Katie walk in and she just starts screaming. So that's happening in the first Paranormal Activity movie. So they're somehow all tied together. They're all fucking stupid. These movies are garbage. But I dig the way that they kind of pace it out. I really respect, especially the first one, like with how popular that movie did with such a short budget. I mean, I don't like Kevin Smith movies. I don't think they're funny, but I still respect Clerks. With what he did for that amount of money and how popular it got, that's fucking nuts. So I think that shit's cool as hell. But like, Paranormal Activity is just like nothing happens for the first 90% of this movie, and then the last half, like pots and pans start shaking. It's like nothing's happening.
I liked it,
but I dig the way that it's filmed. I just hate how the beginning is like night 1, and then it's like found footage. Why are you showing me night 1 when nothing's happening? That seems really weird to be like, oh, we found this footage of this really spooky Paranormal Activity stuff happening. Why don't I just show you 95 shots of a pool table?
No,
nothing
it builds it up. It builds it up. It doesn't go from like nothing to 100. It like very subtle. The haunting like builds up in the house.
But see, the thing about like when you think of the found footage genre with the Blair Witch Project, it starts off with, here's us. We're gonna start filming this documentary. Here's us. Out in these woods, the Blair Witch, she did, oh shit, I fucked up the shot. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. And it's just them filming, them talking about stuff. You know, let's just film the stuff. Oh, we're walking down the thing now. We found this river on the side. Where's the map? And they're just filming shit, so it felt more natural. But if we're watching a found footage movie, I don't understand the weird parts of being like, we don't know what happened to Katie and her husband, Micah. So we're just going to show you a bunch of shots of trees not moving. I don't, okay, it happens on like the 8th night every time. Why are you showing me the first 7 nights? It seems weird to edit a movie as being led to be believe that it's real, and then showing nothing happening.
It's on how you set it up. Like, if you need to set it up as like you are reviewing these things or blah blah blah, but just saying we found these tapes and fuck you. Like,
but that's how they do it.
Go into it.
It just feels like a lazy way of doing it. Because I dig the idea that like, oh no, our house is haunted, so. I mean, that's the part that always seemed kind of weird about the Paranormal Activity movies. They're like, our house is haunted, so I bought a $30,000 camera for the corner. You can do that with just like a cheap one. You don't have to get the big one. And he's like setting up these giant ass computers and shit. He's just all, look what I figured out. Especially the third one, the one that took place in the 80s. There were so many scenes in that movie that just didn't make any sense. Because there was like a scene where like this dude like goes upstairs and it's a big like VHS camera. So he like goes upstairs and he like puts it down in the bathroom, like looking through this door. And then as soon as he like sets it up, he walks in, he's just like, Katie, are you here? And then like the door starts slamming and like chairs are flying all over the place and it's like super spooky, oh my god, ghosts are happening. And then as soon as that's done, he like runs into the room and like picks up the camera and then runs with it. It's like, what are you doing, dude? That just seems so weird.
I like the third one. I thought they like made fun of what they were doing in the first one a lot, and they had some like good general jump scares
or,
that
like,
I thought
like creepy moments, because like the part with the ghost
or like when all
the sheet ghost,
when all
really
the pans fell down, like that was just the simplest thing, but it like scares everybody.
But see, the thing was is it scaring people or is it startling people? Because I don't really consider a jump scare like, oh, excuse me, like if you're just like sitting there right now and I just walk up and I just go like, hey sir, how's it going? If you kind of jumped, I didn't scare you, I startled you. So, you know, that was my big gripe with the new It movie, is that like, why did every spooky part in that movie have to have loud crescendos with it?
I haven't seen it yet.
I know that spooky stuff happens in this movie, but it feels like the characters are also reacting to this. Because like if something just like kind of pops up in front of them all of a sudden, they're not gonna, because of the sound. That's for us as the audience. But with the Paranormal Activity movie, like just all of a sudden, like all the pans falling down is a jump scare, but it's not. I'm not having nightmares. Oh god, I hope all the pans don't fall out of my house.
No, but it still it's spooks you
it's
in
quiet,
the moment.
And then suddenly something loud happens.
Yeah.
But it's jarring. It's not.
But
really
it's like
scary
making fun of the audience. Like you're expecting something super scary, and it's just pans falling.
Yeah.
And so I appreciated that. Like, it's just like, haha, got you with this thing.
Yeah.
It was like not
But
spooky.
like the one that kind of got me from the second or the third one was like, remember the babysitter was downstairs and she's like doing homework or whatever. And they put a fucking VHS camera on a fan so it would pan back and forth. It was the fakest shit ever. But it was like panning back and forth. And so like it pans over and like you see the babysitter sitting there doing like whatever, and then it pans all the way over to the front door, nothing's there. And when it pans back over, you just see like what looks like a little kid wearing a white sheet behind him. And then it pans back, and then like when it pans back over, she like hears a noise, and when she looks over, the sheet just falls down. Like it was a ghost, and she kind of looks just like, wait, what the fuck? And that I thought was actually pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Because to think that like nothing's there, when you pan back and you look, there's just like someone standing right behind her looking at her. And she's completely oblivious to this. I thought that was pretty fucking creepy. And I dig shit like that because that's what made this movie creepy. But like the first movie where just like Katie's just walking around, like sitting up in bed, it's like, that's not really scary. I dig the world that you're trying to build, but as far as like spooky movies, like I hated watching the trailers for those because they're like Paranormal Activity. Watch the audience's reaction. People are like, like throwing all their popcorn and screaming and like just fucking.
Those are
shitting
like
their
the
pants.
worst audience.
Yeah, it's just like,
members.
what movie are you showing them?
hate
Because at
them.
no
Just me
point.
sitting there going like, who's throwing popcorn?
Yeah, like what the fuck? Nothing in the first Paranormal Activity would warrant that reaction. From
I've never
anybody.
seen a movie ever.
Yeah, it's like,
That's
are you
done that
scared
to
from
me.
everything? Like, if I just like, hey, Star. Oh my God, I was
scared
looking
like
at you.
The only movie
Yeah.
that has ever made me jump was when I was a little kid, and you want to guess what it was? Because it's a movie I should not have jumped at.
Willow.
It was the movie Congo.
Oh.
In the theater when the first gorilla jumps out at them when they're in the jungle and fucking like
Right
the
at
only
the
movie
beginning.
that ever made me
Yeah.
fucking go It wasn't the very it's the first one that the second team sees, not the one that kills Bruce Campbell. But like they're going into this tunnel and a fucking gorilla just comes at him out of nowhere. I was like,
But it was essentially a jump scare.
yeah, that's the only time, even for jump scares in a theater, that I've ever been like, and
I mean,
was a
I
little
still
fucking
I
kid.
still jump at stuff because it's loud noises. It's gonna happen.
Well,
Oh
now
shit.
I twitch.
That actually happened to me. I bought the Paranormal Activity video game. There's a VR game that I want the
Right.
two VR
I
girls
don't
to
know
play.
why, but I was picturing like a Game Boy game.
Yeah, Paranormal Activity. I'm just like, yeah, boop, boop, nothing's happening. The battery's died. Oh, so spooky. But no, there's a Paranormal Activity game for the PlayStation VR. And you use the wands to like control stuff and you like shine your flashlights. It's the weirdest fucking controls. But generally speaking, it's not a very scary game because it's just Paranormal Activity. So like, if you're scared of suddenly chairs on tables, that's I guess would be the most terrifying part. Like I saw videos of people like throwing the headsets because it was the scariest shit they've ever seen, and like I'm playing this, I'm like, you guys are babies. But there were some parts that kind of like, they made me jump. But there was one part that I distinctly remember yelling at because I was not expecting it at all, and that's when I found out that the game resets the jump scares if you reset the game. Like if you put the game in sleep mode and boot the game back up, I found out that it resets all of the jump scares. Because there's a part in it where you find what's essentially the family dog like dead in a bathtub or in the bathroom. And when I first walked in, I was just kind of looking around and I hear like a dog growling, and I was like, oh no, spooky ghost dogs. And then I looked down, I was like, oh, there's actually a dog in here. All right. And I'm like shining the lights at it, and I was like, whatever, it's dead, there's blood everywhere. So not thinking about it. Well, the second time I boot the game up, I wanted to get a better look. So I'm like kneeling down and I'm like looking into the dog, I'm holding the flashlight, and I lean a little too close, and that triggers the event of the dog's like head moving and growling. And like I wasn't expecting that, so I'm sitting there, and also I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ! And like Bobby comes out, she's just like, what's wrong? It's just like, this fucking dog! Ugh. And it just made me mad because it happened already. I didn't expect it to happen a second time, but it wasn't that I was genuinely like, oh, can't sleep. It's just that the fucking jump scare happened, and the dog was just like, "Bruh." And it like looked at me for a second, and it scared the shit out of me. I fucking hate it. That was the only time I actually had an audible reaction. Except for that was something just kind of like, oh, there's just a mannequin in the corner now. All right. Just something that you're not really used to. But I thought that shit was so fucking funny. Because at first I'm just like, Jesus fucking dog. Oh my God, I was so angry. I paused the game. I was just like, this motherfucking game. This is the coolest shit. Oh, I can't wait for you to play it. That's going to be great. You're going to play it. You're going to love it.
Okay.
Oh, VR. You're going to have so much fun walking around a spooky Paranormal Activity house. It's weird, though. They have like webcams in all the rooms. It's like, I don't know. I guess that's how they film these.
Yeah.
But I dig shit like that.
I'm changing my answer, by the way.
Okay.
My new favorite, like, cheesy kind of comedy horror movie. That's a tie between Tucker and Dale versus Evil, because I love the shit.
It's really good.
I don't really consider
It's not
that
a horror movie, but
that's a great movie, though.
It's classified as that. But the Dead Snow movies, those like weird Finnish or whatever, like zombie movies. Have you ever seen those?
I haven't seen those.
So the first one is foreign language, and it's all like Swedish or something along those lines. It's got an ish language, but really kind of fucking brutal for the most part throughout the movie. You could tell it was kind of low budge-ish. There's a lot of like weird action sport or like sports shots.
Sports, it's just like...
Well, they're like ramping snowmobiles and shit. And you're like, that's
Oh.
kind of... There's like a cheesy kind of we're all friends opening that's like unnecessary. But fucking people you don't expect to die in it die. Like people are dying left and right. Entire premise of it is that they're up in the mountains. Everything's all snowed in because they're, you know, again, like in the Alps or something like that. And there was this like contingent of like Nazis that got lost in the mountains during World War II, and they all came back as zombies, and that's the Dead Snow thing. It's them versus Nazi zombies. So the first one is more of a serious horror movie, but it's still got some gags to it. A lot of fun, very well done, a little cheesy, but still fun movie.
Yeah.
And then the second one, which is in English, is straight camp, and I love it so. Like, essentially, a character rips the arm off of the lead zombie, and gets into a car accident. And the doctors, because the arm is still preserved and everything, think it's his arm because his arm gets cut off in the accident.
Mm-hmm.
So they attach the zombie arm to him. And so he ends up like this one arm has like super strength and all kinds of crazy bullshit because of it.
So it's kind of like the movie Idle Hands, but
sort of, and like the arm
goofier.
Kind of responds off of his instincts as opposed to what he wants it to do a lot of the time. But then he finds out he can raise zombies with it. So the second movie is called Dead Snow 2: Red vs. Dead. And what they do is they go find a bunch of dead Russians that were frozen in the mountains, and he resurrects them and creates a Russian army to fight the Nazi zombies. It's such a fun movie, dude.
That sounds
like,
goofy as
watch
shit.
both of them because you need the lead in for the first one, and the first one's fun, but the second one is so much goddamn fun.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that one out. Dead Snow?
Dead Snow and Dead Snow 2. They're both on Netflix. They're both great fucking movies.
Nice. Maybe I should watch those this weekend because I want to watch spooky stuff after Stranger Things.
Yeah. Did we get Star's favorite horror?
No, you skipped over me.
Yeah, you're just like.
Skip over.
No, you're just
You
like.
did.
Yeah, it's just like Michael Shanrequa right across the room to Pat, right over Star.
Yep, and then you're like, oh wait, I want to add another one.
Yeah.
I get two.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, my second favorite. So what's your favorite movie? Or what's your favorite horror movie, Star?
That's really hard because I watch a lot of horror movies.
Is it Gingerbread Man?
I have not seen the first one, I don't think. One that is really good, and you were saying it was like campy, is Thanksgiving. So I guess technically it's a Thanksgiving movie, but it's about a turkey that gets possessed by a vengeful Native American spirit. And it's wonderful. Everybody should watch it.
I've seen this movie. It is. She's correct. It is camp and cheese to the extreme.
Yeah, it sounds like the most B-movie shit ever.
The movie is purposefully terrible and very self-aware. Like, there's parts where the turkey will break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And, like, look straight into camera. And you're like...
Yeah, and it's this awful rubbery puppet turkey thing.
Yeah. My brother's seen that. He was telling me about it. It sounds really funny.
Yeah, it's really good.
But in like a horror movie kind of way.
Yeah, I guess like it's truly scary. I mean, well, I really liked the very first Saw movie when that first came out because I didn't know what to. My friends and I hadn't seen any trailers or anything for it, so we went into it blind, and it just kind of blew our minds because it was so clever.
The first Saw movie, I think, was done really well.
Yeah.
Before it got too full of itself.
Yeah, it was a little ridiculous
I was actually
after.
having this conversation with Shay earlier because she said she's never seen him because she doesn't want to just watch, torture porn.
Yeah.
But I was explaining to her, like, yes, that is what those movies are.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays. But the premise for the first movie was, even though he is torturing these people.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle game, but for your life.
But the idea is he's doing it to force them to evaluate their own lives. Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is if you solve the puzzle, you come out of it the other end technically as a better
person, yeah.
Is the idea of his... So even though he's clearly fucking insane and murdering people, it had a unusual premise that I enjoyed.
Yeah, a way to better yourself. Saw off this guy's leg, but doing so makes you appreciate your legs because you used to be crippled or something. It's like, all right.
The point of the doctor at the end was he was supposed to learn to value others over himself.
Yes.
So in order to save his family, he has to choose to saw his own leg off. Like, he could have waited and probably tried to escape the room, but if he did that, his family would have died. So he sawed through his own leg to save them. And that was the growth for that doctor, because the doctor was a self-absorbed piece of shit.
Yeah, and wasn't that the dude from Princess Bride?
Yes.
Yeah.
Carrie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saw 1 was actually really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was really
for
intelligent.
essentially just being a torture porn movie. But it didn't really build itself as a torture porn movie. It kind of builds itself as like a puzzle movie.
Yeah.
But like that was the whole premise, is that Jigsaw's like you want to play a game? Mm-hmm. And then they kind of had to go along with it. It's like, do you love your family? If you do, saw off your leg. Yeah. There's a key in this guy's eye socket. Pull it out. But if you don't, I'm going to kill your mom. Like, I don't want that to happen. Give me your eyes. Yeah. Kind of shit. But then it's like, oh, fuck, this dude's alive? Oh, shit. So that's where you get the kind of moral stuff. But the later ones are just like, you're addicted to drugs? I put the key in the room full of drugs.
Yeah, it was just redundant so and later. Over the top.
The second one was the last one that was like worth a damn. And then some of them had some good moments. I heard that the last one they did was actually kind of fun.
Like Saw 90 or whatever it was.
Like the it was like in 3D or some stupid bullshit. But it was Saw 5,
which
I guess,
because we're on great.
6. It was a Jigsaw. The one that's
I think the new one's just called Jigsaw. I don't think it's called Saw anything.
But the second one, I think it's the second one that covers this. Like, it's the first one where you find out he has an apprentice, and you find out that she essentially went rogue and disabled the parts of the traps that allowed you to escape. So all the stuff that was supposed to, you're supposed to learn these lessons by torturing yourself, she disables the part that allows you to get out. So even if you go through the thing to, like, escape, you still die. Like, she just went fucking crazy, and and then he just, of course, murders the shit out of her because he's Jigsaw and you don't fuck with the plan. But and then you find out that he's been dead for like fucking ever, and then,
it's like his son or his like brother or some shit.
No, he's got like a whole list of disciples.
Oh, that's
essentially.
Right.
Like, he had cancer. That's how he
met
brain
the doctor
cancer from the first one.
Yeah,
and the doctor just blew him off and didn't give a shit. But
it's because like they want you to appreciate life because he doesn't have much life left. So it's like, we want you to appreciate the things that you have. And it's like that's fucking cool.
And because his wife was murdered by someone she was trying to help.
Yeah,
that's a big part of his character. And you're not supposed to sympathize with Jigsaw, but I get it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool just because there's a lot of layers to the movie.
And it's neat, and it's a mystery. Well, that's part of what makes it fun. You're trying to figure it out the whole time. And then, and have you ever seen any of the behind the scenes on that or anything? So there's a part, the part at the end, or a spoiler alert for people who have not seen it, probably Shanrequa.
I've seen parts.
Yeah. Where at the end, the doctor and the photographer, I think is the other guys in there. Anyways, they've been chained up in this room this whole time. There's a dead body with a gun next to it in the middle of the floor. And at the end, the guy gets up and walks out of the room, and they realize that that's Jigsaw, and that he's just been listening to them talk this whole time. And that's why Carrie saws his leg off, because Jigsaw is going to kill his family. And that's why he saws his leg off and goes crawling after him and blah, blah, blah. So both of them freak the fuck out when that guy gets up at that point. And in the behind the scenes thing, you find out that they didn't know he was going to do that.
So that's actually their reaction.
Through all of that filming and everything, that guy was in there just barely breathing and staying perfectly still until the very last moment when he gets up, and both of them are like, what the fuck? Like, that's just legitimately, he's been in the room with them for like an hour and a half, and they never noticed that he was a living person.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and which kudos to that guy's fucking acting, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not that, or he just fell asleep. Dead guy.
They just you can sleep on this floor. Well, okay, as soon as he fell asleep, they start filming.
Yeah, he had to do really shallow breathing so they wouldn't see him breathing the whole time. So it was just a really neat.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love shit like that. Again,
that's really cool.
I'm a movie nerd. Like that's my thing that I totally go down the rabbit hole on. Star likes 80s cartoons. I don't know what your big nerd rant thing is. I've heard you talk about Rainbow Bright and what's the girl who's like a rock star? Gem. And stuff like that.
You not knowing that is truly outrageous.
And I know that Star hates E.T.
Yeah, I guess. Because he's fucking horrible and disgusting.
He looks gross.
Yeah, he does. He's disgusting.
He's like, ow.
Nah, I hate. Okay, that's probably the scariest movie.
E.T.
He's like my arch nemesis, and he haunts me in every aspect of my life.
He's in Star Wars, though.
I know, and he's disgusting.
Yeah, he's gross in that movie, too.
And, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how prevalent he is in my life. And then... but I also collect... Yeah, he does, unprovoked. And, but I do collect some E.T. memorabilia, just because it's like... my own personal freak show at my home. Yeah, but he's scary.
I'm trying to remember the first horror movie that like actually scared me.
Everything
the movie
scared
Species
me.
scared the shit out of me in high school.
Species.
Really?
I'd never really seen like
that like
true horror
freaked
movies.
me out because there was sex in that movie, and
The
I
thing
was
that,
so
that
young.
scared the shit out of me was I never wanted to go into a public bathroom because I thought some weird alien was just gonna rip through the wall and tear my spine out. That movie scared the shit out of me when I was in high school. And like thinking back to it now, it's like, what the fuck was wrong with me? But yeah, like the part where she specifically the part where she breaks through the bathroom wall, like she's like at some club and some dude's like hitting on her, and then he's just like, I'm gonna go jack off in the bathroom or something, and then he just like he sits down to take a shit or some shit, and then like reaches through the thing and pulls out his spine, and I remember that being just the most terrifying shit of all time. Like I lost sleep the night I watched that. I was having a sleepover with my friends, and I'm just kind of like, oh god, I can't handle how spooky this is.
The one that got me when I was a kid, it was Candyman. But that's because my older brother did what every shitty older brother did after seeing that movie. Was they
told you to like go into the bathroom and say Candyman?
No, he said that you didn't actually have to say it. You just had to think it in front of the mirror, and he would come and kill you. So
of course you walk by a mirror, and the first thing your dumb stupid little kid brain is
Candyman. It scared the
Candyman.
shit out of me all the fucking time. But the one I was unreasonably afraid of, like a personal fear that I had when I was younger, was because of the Child's Play movies.
Yeah.
Because Chucky,
Those like cause trauma.
he would hide under a couch and he would fucking cut your Achilles tendon. He would fucking hamstring you. It would scare the shit out of it.
So
Like the idea
Gage.
that I would just walk by a couch and he would just slice the back of your heel and suddenly you're just on the ground helpless.
Ow.
And then I had a sleepover at a friend's house. And like no joke, I was asleep. And apparently at some point during the night he went into his closet to get something and left the closet doors open.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I woke up in the middle of the night and he had a fucking Child's Play doll in the closet, like a fucking
My Buddy.
My Buddy doll
Yeah.
sitting there, and it just suddenly the closet doors were open and there was fucking Chucky staring at me. Scared the shit out of me. He was my across the street neighbor, so I just up out the front door and home. Like nope, fucking nah, not today.
Yeah,
I went right through my fucking bedroom window and went back to sleep.
that's funny.
And yeah, it scared the shit out of me. And to this day, I'm still wigged out by shit getting near my ankles. Like, I don't like the idea of someone slicing that.
I think that's just an unnerving thing. Because I've never been, like, afraid of that. Because I never watched Child's Play when I was a little kid. But, like, that's still fucking gross. That happens in the first Hostel movie. They, like, cut his Achilles heel.
They
And I was
slice
like,
the guy's tendon and tell him to
it's
walk
gross.
away.
Yeah, like, walk away and he just falls over and dies.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that shit's... It's still gross. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
my version of horror movies is, like... Or, like, the spookiest shit to me is, like, anything touching your eyes. I can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the movie The Dentist, it's like, it's not that scary. But, like, if there's just a movie that are like, I'm going to put contacts on you, Patrick, I would have fucking killed myself. That's my horror movie. Like, the idea of touching my eyeball is, like, I'd rather just kill
No, I
myself
get it.
than that shit. It's fucking gross. I, like, just watching people do that shit, I'm like, ugh, it's gross. It's nasty.
Do you have a weak point like that, Star?
Besides E.T.?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, aliens in general, like, really freak me out. I watched, like, I think it was called Dark Skies, and it's probably a really shitty movie, but I'm so afraid of aliens. I've never had a reaction like this to a movie, but I, like, started shaking violently, and I was crying because I was so scared. It was like being paralyzed. I was so
Like,
scared.
you were in a state of shock,
Is
essentially.
this a recent movie?
Like 2000s,
Is
I
that the one
think.
where they would just, like, randomly, like, go into kind of, like, robot mode and start doing...
I don't remember.
There was someone recently...
It had the lady from Felicity in it.
Yes, and, like, that was part of the thing. Like, aliens are, like... I don't want to say haunting, but essentially haunting this
Well,
family.
they continue to abduct, and like I've read Communion, and there's like a movie of Communion with Christopher Walken, and it's really I've only seen parts of it. It's scary, but it's like based on this guy, the author's supposed personal accounts with aliens and like research on aliens or whatever.
Yeah.
And a lot of what's in Dark Skies reflects the contents that like in Communion. So it was really scary to me because it's like what's supposed to really happen.
Yeah. And that's, so if you've never seen it, there's a part in there that did wig me out because I was, for a brief period of time there, I had a job where I would travel around to surrounding states and I'd stay in motel rooms and just watch, whatever's on shitty TV. And I was watching this one, and there's a part where the girl from Felicity, whose name I cannot remember,
Felicity.
she's
Carrie
a
Russell.
realtor, and she's showing a house to this family. And there's a thing about how the aliens could kind of interrupt the way your brain works, kind of fuck with people. Basically, the aliens in this are just dicks. But she's sitting there and she's talking to them, and she suddenly just like freezes and goes like perfectly like stiff, and then she walks past the two of them and just starts smashing her head into a sliding glass window, and then she wakes up at home, and like she's just all fucked up, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" And like, yeah. It's just, the whole movie is just weird shit like that constantly happening. Like, the dad's, like, asleep in the bedroom with her, and then the next time you see him, he's just standing in the backyard staring at nothing. And it's just like, what the fuck just happened? And, yeah. It was a very well done, creepy alien movie.
That's
which
cool.
reminds me of another one that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, which Shanrequa has not seen. Fire in the Sky.
Nope.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I don't think
Fire in
I've
the
seen
Sky, alien abduction movie based off of a similar true accounting.
Yeah.
A group of friends out in the woods, they see some lights. One of the guys gets out of the car. Everyone's like, "Get back in the car, get back in the car." And he's like, fuck you guys, just being pussy. And then a light shines down on him from above, and he just gets ripped into the sky.
Yeah.
And the whole rest of the movie, he just shows up again one day. And the whole rest of the movie, he has like PTSD from being abducted by these aliens. And there's a flashback scene from him where someone spills syrup at like a diner or whatever, and he just freaks the fuck, and he's like under the table and he's like freaking the fuck out. And he flashes back to when he was essentially he wakes up in like a cocoon kind of thing, and he pops out of it and there's no gravity, he's all floating around, and he smashes into another one, and his hand goes through it and into a decomposing body, and he pulls it out, and there's like brown slime, which looks like the syrup, and that's what makes him creep the shit out of me. Like, I was afraid of going into the woods by myself for a long fucking time after that. But yeah, the woods have always creeped me out, just in general.
It's just because they seem so desolate that it's just, that's where the murders happen.
And it's so dark.
Yeah. Yet at the same time, walking along the irrigation ditches at night or anything like that by myself, no problem.
Yeah, no problem.
No issues whatsoever.
The people
Where I
who
could
will stab you
legitimately
live.
get stabbed to death. But I think
where La Llorona lives.
The
Yeah.
the equation
La
changer
Llorona?
there is having
La
my
Llorona.
dog with me. My dog makes
La
me
Llorona?
way braver than I should.
Yeah.
The Ditch Witch.
La Llorona.
Yeah.
That's where
La
the Ditch Witch
Llorona.
lives.
Yeah, you don't go in the ditches.
You don't hide under your covers and pretend you're La Llorona. And just
That was another movie. It was pretty shitty, but I thought the beginning it was really cool. Darkness Falls. Did you ever see that?
Yes, the
With the
Tooth Fairy
Tooth
one.
Fairy?
Yeah. It was
It was a
fun.
movie.
It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
But I don't, like, it wasn't scary to me, because, like, he fucking, like, flame fish Shoryukens the chick at the end. It's just, like, into the fucking lighthouse. And just, it was so stupid. She's like, "My porcelain mask!" And then she just blows up. But I remember the beginning of that movie being genuinely creepy.
Yeah.
The part where, like...
Some parts of
like-
it were-
Like, it's like, if you lose a tooth, don't look at the tooth fairy. And you're like... Well, that's kind of creepy. And then, like, he hears the noise, so he looks up and he sees something. So the mom comes in, "No, it's fine." And then she ends up being murdered by the
Yeah.
tooth fairy. But then he leaves the light on because she can't go where the light is. And just, like, it just pans out from his bedroom where you just, like, see
And
him, like,
she's just, like-
sitting a thing. And he's just, like, she's above the door frame. So, like,
Yeah, it's
essentially,
gross.
like, up here, like, on the thing. And it's just, like, a white porcelain mask is just shrieking into the darkness. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then the rest of the movie is just like, "Don't go in the darkness. That's where the monsters live." You're like, "You're ruining this movie. Stop being terrible."
Yeah.
And then
It's
he
a
seriously, like,
fun
he
movie.
lights his arm on fire and then socks a chick in the mouth. You're like, that's the ending to this movie? All right.
You're good.
But the beginning was really fucking creepy. I still think the beginning of that movie is
It
creepy
was-
as shit.
yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Sure, you can. And she's like, yeah. It's awful.
There was a series of horror movies they were doing for a while, and I cannot. It was like
Excuse me.
8 Days to Die or something like that, and it would be 8 different horror movies by like indie directors, stuff like that. But one of them I really like called Dead Silence. Did you ever see that one?
I think I've
Is
heard of
that
it. I don't think I've
the
watched it.
puppet?
Yes.
I didn't like it.
So, like, the entire premise of this one is a similar thing. The way this monster works is she kills you if you scream.
Mm-hmm.
So she was a puppeteer who was accused of witchcraft and all this whatnot.
I've seen this one.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's not a good movie, but it's a fun movie. And this guy is from his hometown is where all this happened, blah, blah, blah. But there's certain parts where, you know, she'll come out of nowhere at you, and she's this old, wrinkly, like, witch-looking thing. And there's this one part where she sticks her tongue out, and when she does, it's just a bunch of different tongues all, like, tied together because she rips people's tongues out. And it's, like, super long and, like, wrapping around a guy, and he's sitting there trying so hard not to scream. And, you know, just silly stuff like that. And there's a part where they're running from her, and, you know, they figured out the whole no screaming thing, and then a guy falls off of a walkway and just on reflex screams, and before he hits the ground, she comes out of nowhere and catches him, and he just rips him off into nowhere. It's a really cool shot.
Wow.
Again, these movies, 12 Days to I-80, I don't remember what it's called, but not amazing. They have some really cool elements to them. Like, there's one called Grave Dancers. Did you guys ever see that one?
That sounds familiar.
So the entire premise is I forget who does it, but they are setting up a thing where there's, like, a ritual where if you say these words and then dance around on graves, the ghosts will come back and haunt these people and blah. So some guy purposefully sets these other people up and gets them super drunk, puts them in a graveyard, the whole thing, sets them up with, like, a letter to read, and puts them in a section of graveyard that has just terrible, evil bastards in it. You know, like a old, like, judge who would, like, sexually abuse and torture people and, like, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really cool movie the whole way through because, you know, they're trying to figure out everything that's going on. They got, you know, one of the girls, the girl who's being haunted by the judge, well, like, he's essentially sexually assaulting her all the time, invisibly, and, like, she wakes up and she's just got bite marks all over her face, and, like, you know, like, her fucking storyline is brutal the whole way through. Great movie until the last 10 minutes of the movie, where they go up against, like, the last ghost or whatever, and they do this cheesy fucking CGI ghost head, like, rips out of the ground of the graveyard and so, and they're like, and nothing. And it's just, they ruined their whole fucking movie, which had great aesthetic, like, great mood, and the whole, like, the atmosphere was awesome. And then they're like, cheesy CGI ghost head. And you're like, oh, man.
Just completely kill the mood.
But in the first series of these, they had the first one, The Dead Silence, they had the Grave Dancers, one called Penny Dreadful, which is a girl who's afraid of cars, and she's with her therapist. Like, she
did they redo that as, like, a TV show?
No,
that's
a different thing.
Oh,
this one, same title but different premise entirely.
Oh, okay.
The show is about the old Penny Dreadful horror comics. You'd pay a penny, you could read these horror comics.
Yeah.
This one, she's a girl who's in a car accident when she was a kid, and her whole family was killed. So she's got, like, trauma based around cars, and she doesn't like being in cars, and she's afraid of them. And she's been working with a therapist who convinces her to go on a road trip with her therapist. And it's a tie-in to the old, you know, escaped lunatic storyline.
Yeah.
They get into a car accident, and near this old asylum and blah, 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 escapee. So they end up stuck in the car. At a certain point, the therapist goes to get help, gets murdered, and then Penny gets knocked out or something like that. She comes to with her car wedged in between two trees, so she can't get out, and the therapist's dead body is just in the car with her. And the entire rest of the movie is just her in the car with the therapist's dead body, trying to deal with this psycho killer that's outside just torturing her.
Wow.
Again, a very well done movie. Super low budge. Like, again, it's shot in one place. And if you ever find these, I'll try and find the right title of this series of movies. They're all really neat, interesting ideas for horror movies, but also pretty low budge. There's one about a coal mining town where a bunch of kids died in the coal mine due to negligence, and they come back as zombies and kill everybody. It's, a lot of weird concepts like murderous little kids and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Fun stuff, though. I went off on another rant. Sorry, everybody.
Like how you were calling it low budge, like you're the movie guy. I'm in the know. We call it low budge here in Hollywood.
It's just, it's not a, Jigsaw. It's not one of those ones that they're just throwing fucking money at. It's these little
the new one kind of stuff. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just the small stuff. I feel like that kind of leads to better stories now, because if you throw a lot of money at it, it seems like it's just very generic. we need to hit the same notes. Always have every 3 minutes have a spooky part. It's like.
Well, I like those kind of movies. I'll continue this. I'm turning.
Michael fell down a well. That's why he sounds so far away.
Yeah.
AC turned off again. Thanks, Buckley.
What if he's just at home right now, just turning it off?
He does that shit. He can control it from his fucking phone because he's an ass.
That's funny.
Splinter.
What a wonderful futuristic world we live in. He's just at home, just all. I want the store to be warmer, colder now.
But I love shit like that because with low budget movies, stuff can go wrong, and then they have to improvise, and it usually you can make a movie way better by going off the cuff and figuring shit out. Like one that's referenced a lot is Jaws. Do you know the story with Jaws or anything?
I think
it's about a shark.
Yep.
Well, I know the.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, the one with the shark.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, essentially, the shark is supposed to be in 90% of the movie, but when they were filming some of the shots, the puppet actually sank. So instead of getting a movie where they're fighting this robotic shark all the time, it ended up being the 3 guys on a boat and it being about them and them. That's why you only get those little jump scares where Jaws pops out of the water for the first time and all that. He's supposed to be in the whole fucking movie, but they sank the fucking puppet, so they had to improvise and ended up making a way better movie because it's about the development of these characters and all this stuff. I love finding out shit like that. The movie you wrote was not nearly as good as the movie you ended up making.
And yeah, it's one of those things too that just, it's like George Lucas, how he just ruins his movies. It's like, no, just let other, you don't have to have your say in everything, because you're saying with Jaws, it's a better movie because the thing sank.
Yeah. You don't have to fix everything.
Yeah.
Because the sentiment I'm going on that.
Yeah.
Agreed. How long have we been recording?
A long time.
Very long time. We're almost at 2 hours.
Dang.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
We're going to have an extended Halloween
This
podcast.
is the extended Halloween. We're just the last half of it. We talked about Halloween stuff. The first half we
might be able to cut a good chunk of the beginning of this podcast because it was mostly us being quiet trying to think of what to talk about.
Yeah, talk about
then
trans people and how they're assholes.
Movies, and I talked for 45 minutes straight.
That's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's okay. So we're going to sign it off?
We can, if you guys are done talking. I don't mind having an extended podcast for one of them, but it's up to you guys.
I feel like it's very long.
Any other Halloween stuff that we could talk about? They could kind of go into stuff.
What's your spookiest thing? What's the spookiest thing that's
ever happened
to you?
Oh yeah, ghost stories.
When I was little, my grandma lived in South Dakota. She lived in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
That is spooky.
That's where my mom was raised. My grandma lived there for most of her life. I think she moved here from Germany. And towards the end of my grandma's life, she lived in this apartment. And across the street from it was a old Catholic school. So of course it's just creepy as shit.
Yeah.
And they had chairs and shit piled up in front of the windows and stuff. So of course, little active imagination Pat over here, it's just saw it looks like a face. It's a ghost, and it's not. Whatever. But for some reason, my cousin. I love my cousin. He's the coolest dude ever. But he was a piece of shit to us when we were kids. My brother and I. He tortured us so much. He told us that if you look up at night, if you look up at during the night sky and you see UFOs, you're gonna be haunted by guys in robes and shit. And so for several years of my life, when it was dark out, I just looked at the ground. This scared the shit out of me because he was my older cousin. So of course I looked up to everything. Everything he said.
Me and my brother.
Yeah, it's fucking garbage. But I remember
thanks for abusing my trust.
Yeah, thanks for fucking up my childhood and just torturing me. But there was one night where we were staying at my grandma's apartment, and she's lived on the second floor. And I remember we were sleeping in sleeping bags in the living room, and I remember looking out the window because it was it's the window with those really thin grandma curtains that doesn't actually block anything. It just makes it really bright in the room for some reason. But it was nighttime, and for some reason I remember waking up, and I saw the shadow of a ball bouncing.
Ew.
And that was weird because the only thing that was between the moon and the window essentially was just trees. But it was a ball. Because it didn't look like branches moving, because I know what branches look like. I was a teenager at this point. I remember what looked like a ball bouncing. And I remember that scaring the absolute shit out of me, because that was at the time when I thought there was the haunted place across the street. And of course, you know, active imagination, little kids over here. That's when I thought that I was being haunted by a ghost, and so I always thought that there was a ghost following me after this shit. But I remember waking up one night, just for some reason, I never remember waking up in the middle of the night. I woke up and I was just looking at the curtain, and I just saw the shadow of a ball bouncing, like just kind of in the same place, and it filled me with this really gross
probably
dread.
Like balloon stuck in a tree.
I'm sure it was just something. It was just whatever. It's probably like something on the telephone wire,
or it might have just been like an eye floaty.
Yeah, but just something. But it seriously, it looked like a ball bouncing, and
childhood terror.
It just
to an eye floaty.
Yeah, it absolutely scared the shit out of me. I mean, there was at my parents' house, the next door neighbor has like a metal gate. Excuse me, just kind of, I mean, it's just a little gate, whatever. But there was one night, some of my friends just dropped me off, and we were like talking in the front yard, and the gate wasn't closed all the way, and the wind kind of picked up. So like we're just talking, then in just the middle of the night, we just heard, just like in the distance, and I nearly shit my pants. And they're just like, it's probably just the gate, but there's something so unnerving about just hearing a sound in the distance and not quite knowing what it is. That was just really fucking like, I was like, ooh. I also thought I hit a ghost with my car once. It just turned out it was like stupid like steam from a vent pipe on the ground. But as I was driving, just suddenly it looked like it looked like a figure. But as I was driving, I thought I hit a ghost with my car, and I because I didn't really know what it was. As I'm just driving, suddenly the light hit the steam, and it just looked like someone standing there. But as I was just going, just kind of whatever, and I was just kind of like, Jesus fucking, what was that? And so of course I thought it was a fucking ghost, and then I grew up a little bit. I was like, oh, it's just fucking steam. I'm a fucking idiot. But yeah, I thought I hit a ghost with my car, and I was like, who do I call?
So you know Japanese Michelle, Jason and Michelle. Shanrequa, I don't think you've ever met her, but anyways,
we played Bang Beast.
Oh yeah,
you did.
She was the one editing in the back.
But she tells this story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So picture a Japanese woman with long hair. That's Michelle.
Samara.
Like she's just like long black hair. And apparently her and Jason went and watched The Grudge. And, you know, black hair, the whole thing pops up out of nowhere, blah, blah, blah. And she was laying down in their car, and they were in a car that had a sunroof. And she looked up, saw her own reflection in the sunroof, and screamed. She thought she was The Grudge.
She thought the Juan person was right there.
Oh man, I love shit like that.
Self-haunted.
What about you, Sarah? What's the spooky scene that's ever happened?
Well, today I picked up a toilet paper roll and a spider came out. That was pretty scary. But I don't know. When I was little, I didn't think it was scary then. But now I kind of wonder what the heck was happening. But when I was little, I remember playing in my room and like. Often I would like look out the door from my bedroom. It went into a hallway, and I would always see this black figure that was dressed kind of like how women dressed in the 1800s with like the really big dress and like the kind of hat. Yeah. And I would see this black figure like going down the hall, and like I was really young, like too young to know about that kind of like style and everything. And so as an adult, I think that's really weird that I would see that.
You said you're just kind of like, it's just the lady that lives down the hall.
I just saw, it was just a thing I saw all the time, and I accepted that, but I think that's a little creepy. And you hear a lot of stories about like shadow people, and so...
Oh, yeah.
I remember, when I was little, they would always like, I'd leave the bedroom door open. My parents would have like the light on down the hall, so you could see a little bit, like you'd see the door frame, whatever. And I remember, I think it was just my eyes adjusting, but it always looked like there was a figure in the doorway.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't like, pitch black and then the outline of the rest of the light, but it always seemed like there was just an outline of a figure kind of standing in the door. And I think that's just my eyes adjusting and being weird. But I always thought it was just like, what if there's someone like a ghost in my door?
Ghost.
As just a little kid, and I just immediately fall asleep. But
I don't have any interesting, like, I was a stupidly brave kid when I was, like I specifically did shit.
You would have been the kid that was just like, fuck you, Pennywise, and then like threw
I'm that fucking kid.
Okay.
Like I was the kid who like, he's like, hey, you want to come in the sewer? I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I was that fucking kid. I legitimately would crawl through, like, storm drains and, you know, out into the woods by myself and doing all kinds of crazy shit when I was a kid. And then I got older and I just terrified myself of everything. But
Yeah.
the only, like, I never had any trouble believing the supernatural. I never had any trouble believing in aliens or any of that shit. I just didn't care about it. I was like, yeah, that's probably real. And then just moved on with my day. And little kid me believed everything was a ghost. Everything was a monster and just was like, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
The only time I ever, like, I used to live in this really big house with a bunch of different people. We all, like, shared this house. And the woman who owned the house and rented all the rooms out would tell us that the house is haunted. Would always tell you these stories about this little ghost little girl, and then blah blah blah. So after you hear that for like a year, it starts getting to you in the back of your head a little bit. And it's a really weird house with curtains hanging everywhere and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the only time I ever remember doing that, I was like brushing my teeth, and I looked in the mirror, and it looked like a silhouette of a little kid on the other side of like the curtain in the hallway. I was like, that's kind of fucking weird. And then I just went back to brushing my teeth and fucking forgot about it. Like, I'm a terrible, scary story person. I don't have.
You really are. Like, what scared you the most is like, oh, there's one time I thought I saw something. I was like, that's weird.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, even as a kid, I was afraid of stuff outside my window.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in my room, I would get afraid of things outside. But 5 minutes later, you could be like, hey, crawl out the window and go sneak around. I'd be like, yeah, okay. Like, seeing things through my window would scare me. Going out there would not. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. I was an idiot.
Yeah. That's fine.
The movie Puppet Master and Demonic Toys, those movies, used to really get to me because, again, I would never sleep. So I would stay up until like 4 o'clock in the morning and start going fucking sleep deprived crazy. And it would look like my toys were moving because I was about to fucking faint from being exhausted.
Yeah.
That's about as creepy as it got. Was I like, oh god, my toys are alive.
Yeah, I better go
and
to
then
bed.
I would wake up because it was just because I was fucking exhausted. My eyes were just watering from
That's fine.
But yeah.
What about you, Shanrequa?
Should I tell skinwalker stories?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, let's freak
Skinwalker
everybody
stories.
out.
All right. I always end up just scaring myself.
We need to put like a Native American segment transition on all of our videos.
Yeah. So I've never, like, personally encountered a skinwalker, but there's plenty of stories that I believe are real. So the first skinwalker story is pretty light. My friend Cece and her other friend decided to go on that haunted hill by the Sandias.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure you guys know.
Yeah.
But they were just like smoking weed out there and whatnot, and all of a sudden they see this dog.
Classic horror movie.
Yeah. So smoke pot on the haunted the haunted hill.
Yeah. So all of a sudden this dog comes up. It looks like just a regular stray dog in front of their car, and they turn on their lights, and Cece's like whistling to it like, come here, come here. And I'm like, I don't know why she would do that to a stray dog in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Like rabies is a thing.
Yeah, but all of a sudden the dog keeps getting closer and closer, and it starts getting like more giant. Like more giant than a regular dog. So they're like, oh fuck, it's probably a wolf. So they like start their car and they start going down the hill, and all of a sudden they hear this like smack on the back of their car, and they're like, what the fuck was that? So keep driving a little bit, and then all of a sudden they feel this weight on their car, and you can physically feel all of that weight on the car, and it was like slowing it down. So they like kept booking it back to Albuquerque. So like right when they got into the neighborhood, the weight just like jumped off.
So your friends just drove a bear into town?
Basically.
Is what happened?
Yeah. So
They were an Uber.
yeah. So the second
I hated that.
No, you didn't. You didn't. You were smiling when you sighed. You're like,
So the second scariest story is of my friend Jamie. She loves going out into Crown Point on the res. So they're all like partying and whatnot and drinking a little bit, but she wasn't that drunk or anything. So they
yeah. The res.
so
Go out to
mostly
the desert, get
There's a lot of movies that take place on the reservation, apparently. None of them do.
so everyone like heads to sleep or whatever, and Jamie has her own room, so she just goes to sleep, but she isn't that sleepy. So she hears this like crunching of sand outside of her window, like someone's walking up to her window.
Sorry. I was miming crunching.
Not making
So-
sound, you're just doing that.
Yeah,
Right,
she
it was
hears
for your
this
benefit,
like
but you don't look.
I wasn't
sand
watching.
crunching outside of her window. So she like opens the window and she doesn't see anything there. So she closes it, but then she hears like a knocking on her and she's like, who the fuck is that? Who got locked out of the house? So she opens the window again, but she doesn't see anything. So she closes it and she goes to sleep. And the next morning she like walks around to see like what was it. And she sees these like 2 human footprints in front of her window. But there's just 2 footprints, and leading up to that were like dog paw prints. And it's like the person was never there. It was just like a dog.
Wow.
Yuck, a peeping
skinwalker.
Yuck.
The third one is really scary.
Oh,
So the super scary one is with my grandma. So when she was little, her mom used to go out drinking a lot, so she would be alone with the kids a lot, like her siblings.
Mm.
So one day at night, she was just taking care of all the kids, and they were all sleeping. So she's just staying up, doing whatever she does at night, I guess. And she hears another crunching of like footsteps on sand outside. She's like, "Who is that?" So she doesn't look outside because you don't want to do that when you're little.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So she hears this stick. They have like a fence outside of their house. So she hears the sound of a stick like running across the fence. And then it like suddenly gets faster and faster around the house. But she decides to go to sleep because I would too.
That's the option. You're like, wow.
Over it.
Better go to bed.
Yeah, she's like, not dealing with this, going to bed. So the next morning she gets up and she looks outside of the house and there's just dog footprints around the house.
Jeez.
Skinwalker.
The end.
Have you guys ever been to any of the like haunted Albuquerque spots?
No.
I don't know.
I
Well,
want
I'm
to
not
be.
from Albuquerque, so I don't know.
I want to go to that. There's like the old asylum on Edith.
Yes.
My brother-
I've driven by there and been like,
I drove by there once, but there was just like a bunch of gang members sitting up front, so I was like, no! That's the part I was
That's
scared
scary,
about. Fucking Buqueños being like, hey, fucker, what you doing in our hideout? My brother went there once, and he actually, he said he saw some shit, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, apparently it was they were pulling in, like, on like the right-hand side of the road, there's like a bunch of bushes and shit, and he said he saw like, essentially what would have been like a little girl's legs, like wearing stockings. I keep kicking this fucking cord.
Audio levels.
Oh my god, you're gonna have to edit my voice sound.
No.
I'm getting louder. There we go. But I guess he said he saw like a girl's like legs wearing stockings, but like up in the trees, but like not sitting on stuff, just kind of hanging there. And I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe him because he's my brother and he's full of shit. I love you, Kevin. But it's one of those things that like until you see something like that, it just you know, I'm sure your imagination was just running wild, whatever. At the same time, I'm like, there was a ghost at my grandma's back window.
So like a brief rundown of that asylum, because there's a lot of haunted places all over Albuquerque. But
New
this-
Mexico
I'm
in
sorry.
general,
Yeah,
because
New
we're
Mexico in
old
general.
as fuck.
But this one has.
It's almost as if we're built on a lot of ancient Indian burial
So
grounds.
this one was an insane asylum. It was a.
Psychiatric ward?
It was like a smallpox hospital or something like
I
that.
think so.
There's
And
a psych ward. There's a mass grave there from the smallpox hospital.
Yeah.
Like it's just
lots of people died here.
every fucking horror movie trope you could get has happened there, except for maybe an Indian burial.
There was a camp of blonde girls here, and they were all murdered. So it's all of the tropes.
Yeah. So it's, you know, all the makings for a good horror area.
We should
And
do a
now
video of
it's
us going there.
abandoned.
Can we do that?
But
Yeah, let's do it.
We need to find the night
So
that
here's the thing.
MS-13's not
the
there.
reason why I don't have any stories about interesting shit like this is because my friends are like, let's go to the haunted asylum. And I'm like, no. Because as I said, I have no trouble believing in supernatural shit or anything like that.
You just want
so
no part
my
of it?
general rule is not going to fuck with that. Not the same thing with bears. I'm not going to fuck with a bear. I'm not going to fuck with a ghost. Like, I'm not going to give it a reason to rip my fucking face off. No, thank you. I don't want to get ghost smallpox. I'm a hard pass. But everyone like has a fucking friend who has a story about that place. Like I think my sister-in-law was the one who was telling me like she went there, and there's like a big pit in the back, which is where they say the mass grave is or whatever. But she said she went there and her friends just saw a ring of dogs that all looked like Rottweilers just standing around the pit, just like looking into it, and it was just like, yeah, let's just leave before we get torn to pieces by a bunch of fucking weird demon dogs. But, you know, like weird shit like that. Everyone's got a story about that place.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just hard pass. I've driven by it a few times. I'm just
See, it's weird. Like, I hate being scared more than anything. It's the fucking worst feeling on the planet. I can't stand feeling scared, but at the same time, I love it.
Yeah.
Like playing spooky games, I love it. There's something so exhilarating to me about having that gross, like shitty adrenaline of like, is there something in this next room? And then you open it and there's nothing there. You're like kind of like, oh my God. And then you hear a noise. You're like, oh, no. I hate that, but I love that. So like stuff like that where, what was it? The hotel that The Shining was filmed in. I absolutely want to go there. They're like, oh, the second floor is super spooky and haunted. Can I stay on that floor, please?
Yeah.
I want to do that shit. But at the time when it's happening, I hate it more than anything. There's something absolutely terrifying about not really knowing what's going on. It was seriously probably like 13 years ago now. I was hanging out with a couple friends, and one of them knew someone who like worked at a hotel downtown. I don't even remember the place, but it was just like some small shitty motel. And they're saying like, oh, some of these rooms are haunted. And we're like, oh, cool, I want to go look in here. Yeah. Because that's, spooky. And we were in this one place. It was like a 2-story, like, hotel room. It was kind of weird. Like, it had the first floor was like the waiting area, and then the second floor is where all the rooms, or where the bedroom and stuff was. And I remember going upstairs by myself while everyone was downstairs. And I saw something upstairs that scared the shit out of me. So I run downstairs. I was like, Jesus Christ. And I panicked. So we all go upstairs. It was just a fucking plant. But it was the way that it was sitting in the room is that I wouldn't normally have thought a plant would be here. Is that it's like right up the room, but it's like right next to the bed. But when I first got up there, it looked like a person. Like it looked like the shape of a person. And I remember that, I mean, immediately I was just kind of like, oh, bowels are empty. Like I didn't actually shit my pants. But essentially I was just kind of like, oh, this is where the poop comes out. And I ran down and I was like, oh, whatever. And so everyone's kind of like scared when we get upstairs, and then immediately I'm the fucking idiot because it was a fucking plant. But that I think a lot of it is that your imagination kind of takes over. Like you know you're in a place that's supposed to be spooky. Yeah. Like if you're just in like, oh, we're staying at this new hotel. Oh, that's cool. What's that sound? Oh, it's probably just the air conditioning. But if you're in the haunted hotel, then
everything.
It's the ghosts. And so I think a lot of this stuff is your imagination going wild because I personally don't believe in supernatural stuff like ghosts. I totally believe in aliens. I 100% believe that there is intelligent life out there. There's no way humans are the only intelligent life in the entire universe. Intelligent. Yeah, the same people who listen to Fox News. There's no way we're the only, gotta keep burping, intelligent life in the universe. There's absolutely no way. But as far as ghosts and stuff, because I've never really seen one, I don't believe in it. There has to be some explanation as to what looked like a ball bouncing. Like you're saying, it was maybe a balloon stuck in the tree, something. But I want to believe. It's one of those things, if someone's like, you want to go on this haunted tour? Fuck yes, I do. Are you serious? Absolutely I want to go in here because there's nothing I want more than to just have the ever-loving shit scared out of me by something I can't explain. I want that more than anything. So I want to go on haunted-ass tours. Like, if at any point you would ever want to just go to that Edith place, I absolutely do. That'd be the fucking coolest shit. I want to see that more than anything.
I'll fucking go.
Let's do it.
Yeah. No, I'm totally fucking down for it. Like, if there's like fucking haunted ass shit that you know about, fuck yes, I want to go do that shit.
So many in New Mexico.
There's a lot. Yeah, we have a lot of.
Star, have we told the Red Cross in the Desert story on the podcast?
I don't think so.
So this will be one of my last stories for the night because we are hitting the 2-hour mark on this recording.
Probably should wrap it up soon.
Everybody. The whole 5 of you that listen.
We might need to cut a good chunk of this. We'll do this as 2 podcasts.
Break it up.
You say 2 hours, we're gonna have to like cut it down to like 30 minutes.
Yeah, there's so we have some friends who are really into meteor showers, stuff like that. I like them a lot too. Yeah. And there's some really good spots in the Albuquerque surrounding areas to go out into the desert. There's no city lights. You can just, and we're driving out. We're gonna go to the mountains, and I forget why we said fuck it to the mountains. There was some reason, but
yeah, I don't remember.
In the middle of the night, we were going out to watch a meteor shower, so we just decided to drive out into the desert, essentially, and couldn't really get any good. It was cloudy. We couldn't really see any good, like, meteor showers.
Yeah, of course, the one time you need to see something in the sky, it's cloudy here.
Yeah, and we were coming back, and there was just a red glow in the desert. So we went and we drove over to it. I was driving. Yeah. So we'll get to the part where I handle it the way I handle everything. We drive up, and it is a cross in the middle of the desert, and it's red and glowing. And someone there is just like, oh, let's go look at it. And before they could even finish that, I was like, nope. And I just turned around.
Was it glowing like it was made of
it was lit up or reflective or something.
Glowing. Yeah, it was weird. And it was
And there
probably like a memorial of some kind or something.
I think it was out where all those women got buried.
Oh,
but it was just a glowing red cross in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, no marking.
So
it was like a dirt road.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was even off the road a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's probably like that reflective material, so it's because it's getting any light, it's just immediately just shining super bright.
It was emitting its own light. Like it was lit up somehow.
Because we spotted it in the distance.
Yeah.
We were like, "What's that?"
It was illuminated, so we went.
Okay.
Because again, no city lights, we could see it from a ways off. And like before they could even finish the "let's go look at it," I was like, "U-turning and drive." Like, sorry guys, I'm driving. I'm not getting fucking knifed by a demon tonight.
That's one of those things that like, if I was in the same boat, I probably would have been like, "No."
Demon uses
but
a knife.
that's cool. I would totally want to be like, "I want to see that," but I would have totally sided with you and be like, "Nope, we better turn around because this is where Silent Hill's happening."
Yeah, I would love to be like, "Yeah, we went out and we checked it out, and yeah, manliness." But
because I'm sure it was seriously just
hardcore in the other direction already.
It was probably like Star was saying. It was probably just
a
memorial
like,
for all of the women who were murdered by that serial killer.
Away, I was like,
no,
yes.
Yeah, sorry, this is creepy
but
shit.
But at the same time, also don't want to investigate the memorial for all of the women who were murdered and buried in the mesa.
Yeah.
Just don't want to do that.
Yeah, that seems kind of creepy to do like with a bunch of people just like at night one night. Like, let's just go look at the memorial of all the serial killer victims. You're like, no, that's shitty.
Hate to say it, not an action star guy. Like, that's not who I am. Shit goes down, I'm getting knifed first.
Yeah.
Like, that's how that goes. I'm going to get the Omar Epps hooked through the back of the neck while I'm talking about how tough I am. Yeah. But just, nope, hard pass on the whole glowing red cross in the middle of the desert. That was the closest thing to a real creepy thing that's ever happened to me. And I was like,
Oh man, did I ever tell you the story about how I almost died out of the mesa?
No.
Not.
on Halloween, actually.
About to. Holy shit.
So me and my friends, we didn't have any parties to go to on Halloween, so we were like, let's go to the mesa, because for some reason my friend Kevin found this boat on Google Maps, just a random wooden boat in the middle of the desert. So we're like, let's go see this boat.
As you do.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night. So we go out there and we're like getting out of the car to go see this boat, and it's like off the road, it's all sandy. So we get out, we see this boat, and out in like a little bit, like a mile away, there's this trailer, and we thought it was empty, like someone just left it out there or something. But all of a sudden it starts like flicking on and off its lights. We're like, oh fuck, dude, what if it's the cartel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah.
You're like gonna get fucking the Mexican cartel after you.
So we like all jump in the car, and then the driver starts freaking out, so he forgets which way is the road.
God.
So we go this opposite way of the road, and we get stuck in this dry riverbed because it's all like loose sand.
Mm-hmm.
All 4 tires get sunk into the sand.
That's horror movie tropes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh fuck, dude, we're gonna fucking die tonight,
Yeah,
dude.
this is the night of your murder.
So we're really like thinking, we're like, should we light a fire? It's really cold. But what if it is the cartel? What if they find us? So I'm like thinking, like, if they do come, I'm just gonna bury myself in the sand.
That's a fucking state
Is
plan.
it? Yeah. You got, like those lizards, just gonna shake yourself into the sand.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. So we eventually just light a fire because we're fucking cold, and there's a bunch of like blown out tires around, and we're thinking like, if we push one of those tires under the tire, then we can probably like get out due to the traction.
Mm-hmm.
But the tires are too big, so my friend Kevin has this little ass knife, and he starts like cutting open the tire.
Oh my gosh.
It took him like an hour and a half, and I was like, I hope this works because this is taking.
Otherwise, this is the death of us.
Yeah.
Whether
We'll have to eat each other.
either serial killer or boredom, because we're gonna die because this is taking forever.
So it doesn't work.
Oh.
So we start making our way back to the main road, but it's really cold, and for some reason I decided to wear my costume. It was like a wizard costume.
As you do.
And
Exploring the mesa. Make sure to dress as a wizard.
Did you have like a beard? Was it like a Gandalf wizard?
No, I don't think I wore a beard.
That would have made it even.
But I
funnier.
wore this like really light jacket because I was like, oh, we're gonna be there for like a second.
Yeah.
Nah, no.
Yeah, we're not gonna get lost in the middle of the mesa.
Speaking of, we got there at 10.
Oh, it's late.
10 at night. So my friend Kevin, he's from Russia, so he's like, it's not that cold. It was cold.
It's
So
fucking freezing
Yeah.
all
I
the time.
had this cape and I gave it to him to wear it.
like 60 degrees something today.
Yeah.
And people were complaining about how fucking cold it was.
Yeah, it's
like,
fucking cold as shit.
Yeah, it is freezing.
Yeah.
It's 64 degrees, guys.
Yeah, it's like literally double freezing, but it's so
I'm
fucking
in my
cold.
car, like, man, should I go get a jacket?
Oh god, I'm sorry.
Like on our way to the main road, it's taking us like an hour to walk to the main road, and it's really cold. So we start making these like little ass campfires along the way, so we don't freeze to death. But we
It's like Hansel and Gretel.
So
they have breadcrumbs, but they burn them all.
They have to eat the breadcrumbs, have to burn all their paper.
So we can't find our way to the main road. So the driver decides to like call the insurance company to see if they can like come pick up the car, and while they're coming to pick up the car, they'll come save us too.
Yeah.
But they came out, and we were like 5 minutes outside of their range where they can like pick up people. So they didn't even bother. They didn't even pick us up. They didn't call the cops.
Like, no,
they just left
Sorry.
us.
See you.
Yeah.
You went too far into the desert. You're dead now.
Yeah, and then
You're in fucking no man's land.
so we called the cops instead to come pick us up because it was an emergency situation.
Jeez, yeah. If you're lost in the middle of the fucking mesa, it could be an emergency situation.
Yeah. So they picked us up. They didn't even like ask why we were out there. They just picked us up and they dropped us off at an IHOP.
Jeez.
And by the time we got
IHOP? Have some pancakes.
Did you tell them about the cartel trailer?
we should have.
No, because you would have been fucking hunted down like the snitches
Oh,
you
yeah.
were.
Yeah.
That's a
It's a
good
good thing you
idea.
didn't.
To receive your stitches.
So
Yeah.
from 10, we got to the IHOP at like 6:30.
Jeez.
Oh my
holy
God.
shit.
It was a
That
long
ass night.
It is a long fucking day.
That is the time I almost died. The end. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. The driver had a gun, and he was like, it'd be fun just shooting it randomly. And I was like,
No, that does not end well.
that was not
Don't
a good
just shoot
idea.
your gun randomly.
Yep. The end.
Though that did remind me of the time that I think I heard a ghost talk. No, it's weird.
Did you sit on your phone and
No.
Siri started talking?
I can't explain it. Yeah, it's just like, hello, how can I help you? I was like, ah! No, I used to work at Hastings, which is like for anyone who.
I used to work Hastings too.
Which one did you work at?
In Santa Fe.
Oh, I worked at the one on Montgomery, like the main one.
Mm.
But I used to work at Hastings, which is like a shitty store that sold really expensive toys and
Overly expensive collectibles and memorabilia,
comics
and
and video games
But it
and
was
movies. and
also-
shit.
In the end. In the
awesome
beginning.
because you could go there, you could be telling your friends like, you fucking never seen Blues Brothers, and they're like, no, I've never seen, and you'd be like, all right, we're going to Hastings, it's 10:30.
Yeah, they had
you
shit
go buy
you
a
could buy.
$5 copy of fucking Blues Brothers.
Yeah, it was weird. Any movie you ever needed, they had. Well, I used to work there a long time ago. This was like right before Halo 2 came out, because I remember I got fired for not working the Halo 2 release. Because I told them I wanted it off, and they just made me work it anyway, but I didn't just show up. But anyway, there was this girl, I forget her name, I think it was like Kristen or something, but she worked there, and
We're
she...
gonna call her Kristen.
Yeah, we'll say Kristen. But she worked there, and she was really fucking cool. She was kind of like, not really a goth chick, but basically a goth chick. She was kind of, she always wore black, and she was really, cool. She would listen to kind of the same music. I was like 22 at the time, so I remember one night we got off at 11 o'clock, and we ended up sitting outside the store. They had like a little bench in front of the store, and we ended up sitting there until like 3 in the morning just talking about shit, which is totally weird because it's like I think she was really into me, but it's just like, sorry lady, I'm into dudes. But we were just talking about shit, and I remember the reason why we stopped talking was seriously we're just talking about shit, and we both at the same time heard, what are you doing here? We just heard a whispering really fucking loud. And I was like, did you just hear that? She's like, yeah. And we immediately left and just got into my car and just talked about shit. But we heard a very audible whisper of asking, what are you doing here? And that scared the shit out of me.
Probably sitting next to an intercom for a business.
No, but like, no, that's the thing is that there has to be some explanation because I'm one of those people. Yeah, like, well, do you need any McDonald's fries? I'm sure there was some explanation because I don't believe in ghosts. I'm just I'm a rational adult. I don't believe in supernatural shit like that. I just don't. I don't see it. Yeah, you idiot. But I don't believe in that stuff. I just don't. I don't see enough evidence of it, so I don't personally believe in ghosts. I have absolutely no explanation as to why we both heard, because it didn't sound like a speaker 30 feet away whispering, what are you doing here? It sounded like it was in our ears, and she heard it too because she's like, "What the fuck did you just hear that?" I was like, "Oh my god, Jesus! Oh, ghosts!" And we left. But why the fuck would a ghost haunt the front of Hastings? Like, that's the part that got me. It's just like, why the fuck would a ghost just be like, you see that bench in front? I'm gonna spook those kids. What the fuck? That's boring. What a dumb, stupid afterlife. Could you imagine, like they always talk about, like,
just
ghosts
for
are
the perfect moment.
like the souls of people who can't move on, and like something really terrible happened to them, so that's why they're stuck to a certain place. So like, oh, someone was murdered in this house, that's why their ghost is here. Who the fuck is haunting the front of Hastings? Like, that's why it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like
some dude who didn't make it through a midnight release.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like, I wanted to go to the Halo release, but it was closed. Wow! I don't understand. So like, I mean, I heard something. It wasn't one of those things where you're just kind of like, the wind. Oh, does it sound like somebody saying, woo? I mean, it was clearly, what are you doing here? We heard a dude say, what are you doing here? So we both freaked the fuck out. And then we ended up just talking in my car for the next like 3 hours.
30 feet away.
Yeah, so the ghost couldn't reach us because he's clearly only there to haunt the bench. Yeah. But yeah, that shit made no sense to me. But I guess that would really be my only actual ghost story. Spooky. Would be hearing someone say, what are you doing here? In front of a store. I mean, we'd been there for hours. We were talking about, I don't even remember what we were talking about, just like stupid bullshit like, do you like the band Green Day? They're pretty good. Like that shit. That's what we were fucking talking about. But just in the middle of a conversation, we both heard at the same time, dude, they're pretty good. We just heard someone say, what are you doing here? To both of us, we're kind of like, what the fuck? And there's no one around. I don't think there's an intercom there. I mean, that Hastings is closed now because they're all closed, but I could go look to see if there's like any kind of speaker system there, but I have no idea what that could have meant. It was fucking terrifying because it was like, what the fuck? And then instead of leaving, we just went and sat in my car and then talked for another 2 hours. We ended up leaving at like fucking 5:30, and it's like, I work at 10. Jesus Christ. So yeah, that was not a very fun next morning, but yeah, that's like really my only actual ghost story. But I remember.
Maybe think of two more.
Oh god.
Sorry. One was my most recent scare that's happened. It was fucking Pat that did it.
Me?
Yeah, I told you about this the other day. I was listening to I was watching some of our content on my phone. And
oh yeah.
I fucking fell asleep, and I don't even know if the podcast I was listening to was up yet, but in one of them, Pat says my name in a weird
Michael.
Or
something like that.
So I fell asleep, and the phone ended up right next to my fucking head, and just out of nowhere, demon voice says my fucking name, and I just fucking bolted upright and was like looking around like, is this it? Is this the moment? Like, are we fucking going down?
Is this the end? This is where Satan comes to take me?
And then it turns out it was just fucking Pat yelling on a podcast, scared the ever-loving shit out of me. Just like woke me up. I was in fucking, couldn't get back to bed for like an hour because I was all pumped up. Like just...
and it's just me being a fucking idiot. I'm sure I'm not like, Michael!
Yeah.
Woo!
You were just
like doing that shit.
Voice,
yeah, I just did a stupid voice, but for some reason I did it. It's like, Michael. Yeah. So you're going to fall asleep to this one, and that's going to make you poop your pants.
Yep.
You're welcome.
But, and then the other one, which I may have mentioned before.
Excuse me.
I'm pretty sure this is my actual last story that I have.
This is going to be the last story because we're going to probably end it right after.
I just mean like in general that I have.
Oh, that's it. You're never going to talk again.
Ever.
Zero interest ever again.
They're all out.
I keep burping. I'm so sorry.
So my friends and I have taken a lot of road trips together, and one of them, my friend had this little fucking like Dodge Neon, a car you do not take into the mountains, and she would always
anywhere
drive it into or anywhere
because they just
but she would just drive it into the fucking mountains. And we were driving through Colorado somewhere. I don't even remember where the fuck we were because I also have a bad habit of, as soon as I'm in the car and nothing interesting's happening, I just pass out, just instantly, just.
Unless you're driving, you're asleep.
I woke up, and suddenly we're in the fucking mountains, like in the mountains. Place this car should not be able to get to, and we come up over this fucking hill and we look down and there's just a burned out town in like a little valley, and I was like, what the
yeah, what are we doing here? Why are you here?
And I think someone told me later that that's a place where they do fire drills, which is why it's like so it's like a little bricked out town that's been abandoned, and they use it for fire safety drills and stuff like that. Makes sense now, but at the time I was like, oh shit, Demon Town. Why are we here?
This is where my life ends.
And it's a tiny little mountain road where, again, the Dodge Neon barely fucking fit on it. There's And we come up to the crest of this hill, and there's a fucking serial killer truck, like sitting on, like off to the road with full-on hillbilly-looking guys in it. I mean, there's chains and hooks and all this shit hanging off of this truck. Which again, these are guys who probably just clear fallen trees off of the road, like
or murder children.
In my mind, it's like cool, murder truck, cool, good to know. And these guys are just fucking mad dogging us the whole time we're there, probably going, why the fuck is a Dodge Neon on top of this mountain? Is probably what they're actually thinking. But I'm like, oh, these guys hate us. Cool. And my friends being from Albuquerque are just fucking mad dogging right back at them, because of course. And these guys just fucking creepy, slow drive by us and go away. And then we're going down this little fucking one-car road down the mountain. And then I don't know how the fuck it happened, but these guys in the murder truck start coming up the road at us. And we fucking just meet in the road, and we're all just like, and then we had to wait and like try and scoot out of the way for them to drive by us. And they did the creepy little fucking, like half an inch from our car drive by, all
just roll
staring
past
at us again. They were probably driving around making sure we didn't fall into the fucking canyon. But yeah, it just one of those creepy moments, like, oh, we're gonna get knifed by hillbillies because this Dodge Neon's gonna break down at any moment because it's a Dodge Neon. And creepy fucking burned out ghost town. The whole time I'm like, oh, this is crazy shit. All of it has perfectly logical. Guys who are probably clearing fallen trees. Burned out murder town is just a fucking place where they do fire safety drills. Like all of it makes perfect sense when you examine it. In the moment, I'm like,
but at the time you're like, this is Silent Hill. These are all demons. We got to get out of here.
Like you have no idea how serious this is. This car only has 2 doors. If we get in some shit, I'm stuck back here.
That's funny.
That's the last one I got. I think we should end the Spoopy Story podcast.
Wait, last scary story.
One more scary story, and then that's it.
I was in the bathroom, and I was taking out the Band-Aid.
Like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, and then your automatic like paper towel dispenser scared me.
Yeah.
I like jumped. I was like, oh god.
This is the death of me. I'm dying here. This fucking cord. I keep kicking it, and I'm gonna put it up here.
Someday we'll figure out how to have a professional. Someday maybe we'll actually have like a studio.
That'd be pretty cool. Give us money. Yeah. We should set up a Patreon so we can get like $1 a month.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
We should set up a Patreon. Is that it for us?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah,
okay, so thank you all for listening. This is a really long episode.
This is supposed to be just as a side note to cut Pat off. This is supposed to be a quick podcast because none of us wanted to stay late. We've been recording for 2.5 hours, and we wasted like an hour to an hour before recording.
Just getting beer and just talking about shit. So thanks for ruining Stranger Things for us, Michael.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I'm a
but anyway,
person.
Thank you very much for listening to the Pixel Podcast. My name is Patrick. We got Star. Say hi.
Hello and goodbye.
We got Shanrequa.
Hi, goodbye.
We got Michael.
Hello and goodbye.
And we got me, Patrick. I think I already said my name, but whatever. I'm going to do that 2 times.
Say hello and goodbye.
Yeah, hello and goodbye. I've been drinking.
Hello and goodbye. Like
Shut up. Like the Beatles. Hello.
Or the band.
Or the band.
But thank you very much for listening to the podcast. If you like us, definitely give us a like and subscribe. That'd really help us out.
Even if you don't like us.
Even if you don't like us, like and subscribe, because whatever.
If you like just throwing us a bone, we'd appreciate it.
Like, subscribe, and then leave in a comment that says, I don't actually like, and I didn't want to subscribe, but I did because you asked.
Subscribe us and then block us from your feed. It's
because
fine.
Guess what? We're saying please. Can you please like and subscribe? Because manners go a long way. But we do appreciate you listening to us. Hopefully you had some enjoyment out of us talking about spoopy times and what else? What the fuck did we talk about tonight?
I don't know.
This is a long-ass podcast. Holy shit. You wasted 1/10 of a day listening to us.
Yeah.
God damn.
Thank you for giving us your life.
Yeah, thanks for spending the time listening to us. And then ghosts.
Yeah.
We talked about ghosts a lot. A lot of spooky times.
Ghosts. Movies. I rambled about movies.
You went on about movies a long time. Yeah, we did talk about spooky movies. We need to go watch movies. We need to go see spooky shit.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so before we get into another rant about dumb shit, this has been the Pixel Podcast. We really appreciate you listening to us. If we eventually get a Patreon, go to our Patreon.
We won't.
I don't think we're ever gonna get a Patreon because we're lazy.
Vaguely successful.
Yeah. So for the 3 of you that listen to this. Sorry.
That's such a long outro.
Yeah, this is a really long outro. But thanks a lot for listening to this podcast. We really appreciate it.
Stop saying goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. We really appreciate it. See ya. Bye.